Welcome to Fire Breathing Kittens, a standalone actual play Dungeons & Dragons podcast. Every episode, Microplot, is a complete adventure with a beginning and an end that fits into the overarching macroplot of the whole season. Because they stand sturdily on their own, you can listen to these episodes in any order and skip any you don't enjoy, or listen to them anyway. Today, we are joined by Simmond the Kind.
Hey everybody, I'm Simmond. I am a very tall, blue-skinned fur bear, if you're familiar. I'm a druid, which means I'm wearing a lot of leather and hide. And, I have 4 walking trees trailing around behind me. No biggie. Howdy.
Zero.
Hi everybody, my name is Zero. I am a paladin, which means I am wearing a lot of heavy armor. I use a broadsword. And I'm just here to see how this all goes.
And Lucien.
Hello everyone. Lucien is a level 16 high elf artificer alchemist who runs around with a giant brown sleeveless duster, bit like Dr. Octopus. And for the most part he has a nice and straight outward demeanor, but if you saw the last episode, you might know things might get a little wacky.
Perfect. All right, so as many of our adventures start, you are all in the Fire Breathing Kittens Guild Hall. It's a large building. It's stone walls. There is wood inlays and nice live edge wood beams. There is a nice wooden bar, some wooden tables and chairs. It is fairly quiet this morning. It's about 9:30 in the morning. You do happen to see on the notice board there is 3 different pieces of parchment attached to the notice board. First off, what are y'all doing this morning?
Well, Lucien basically never sleeps, so more than likely he's down on the bottom floor sitting at a table with a bunch of alchemy equipment and other random garbage it looks like thrown across the table, and he's preparing his potions and infusions for the day. Most notable of which, he's currently working on a small topaz gem right now, which, as he does some magic stuff to it, casts some incantations, little bits of scrap seem to be kind of floating towards it and amassing into some type of creature. We'll see what that turns out to be.
All right. Zero, what are you up to?
Zero is leaning against some of the wood slats, observing everybody in the bar, seeing what they're up to while fiddling with his broadsword. Just contemplating life, wondering what all he's going to do today and what quest he's going to go on.
While Zero is contemplating life, could he make a perception check, please?
Yeah. So I have +1. What die do I roll?
D20.
Your D20.
Okay.
All of the general checks are D20s.
Okay. 1 second. My perception is 2.
Ooh.
You also have something called passive perception on your sheet, which if you roll under that, you go with that.
I will open up your sheet. That's the one thing I did not open.
I don't have passive perception on my sheet.
It's okay. You do. It's right.
There's nothing listed under there.
Oh,
I believe
isn't.
it's 10 plus your wisdom modifier.
Okay, so it's 14.
Perfect. You know what? That'll do it. You noticed, oddly enough, and you didn't notice this before when you had your interview with Nilasag when you joined the Fire Breathing Kittens, but there's a door which you remember had a fairly sizable lock on it behind the bar, and it's actually ajar, and that lock looks to be broken. And that's all. Simmond,
Okay.
What are you up to?
Well, Simmond doesn't know anything about this door yet, so he is very much looking down at this topaz.
You're sitting with Lucien?
Yes, he's looking at all this dust flying through, and he's very interested, but he hasn't actually spoken up yet.
Yeah, as you're observing, the topaz kind of seems to be the heart of whatever's being built, and you being a druid, you almost out of the blue start to clearly recognize wings and a tail being formed, as it looks like a small mechanical bird is being created out of all this scrap. Little homunculus servant who Lucien kind of completes his little project, taps it on the head, and it shivers to life. And I dub thee Clink, and it just kind of starts flapping up and flying around Simmond's head.
Simmond is going to hold out his hand to it.
I'm sure Clink just kind of floats down, lands on it, and lightly pecks Simmond's hand. With all the fur, he probably doesn't feel it.
No, probably not.
All right. So, what do you guys want to do this morning?
Well, go ahead.
I think Zero is going to walk past Simmond and Lucien and take note of the cute animal, secretly wanting to pet it while investigating. I know, but it's for the character. But investigating the door that seems to have a broken lock, wondering what's behind it and if there's anybody he needs to smite behind that door who's potentially breaking the law.
While Zero's heading over there, Lucien, now no longer enraptured in this little ritual, probably glances up and seeing the very large paladin staring at a door, looks a bit closer, and I don't know, DM, do I maybe detect that broken lock as well? Can I roll for it?
Yeah, go ahead and roll perception.
All right. Looks like that's a 22. My passive's also 25 for the record.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry, your passive perception is 25?
Yes.
How?
Sorry, it's 22. My investigation's 25.
I thought passive was 10 plus your modifier.
Feats.
All right.
Observant.
Good for you.
Yep.
Yeah. You definitely noticed this as well.
Yeah.
With such a high passive perception, I will say that you noticed it, but it's an internal door within the guild, and you really didn't think too much of it.
Yes, well, within the guilds, I don't need to put on my guise of elvish superiority, so clearly I'm going to go where I'm supposed to not be. And Lucien's just kind of going to shove all of his alchemy stuff into a large bag and kind of head over, just chilling behind the paladin, not really saying too much, just seeing where this might go.
With your combined perception skills, you also can hear from behind the door a very faint whispering, but not a whispering that is necessarily embodied. It's almost like quiet, ghostly whisper. Very faint.
Zero's gonna go.
Go on.
Zero's gonna go ahead and kick open the door and yell, "Who is there? Is anyone there that needs help?"
Lucien's Lucien's just gonna peer slightly to the side around the plate armor and just see if he can spot anyone there.
You see a room full of crates. Nobody in the room. It doesn't look like anybody's actually been in the room for a little while. It's some cobwebs, fairly dusty. There's armor racks and weapon racks. Now that you're closer and sort of before with the paladin in your kind of in front of your vision, you do happen to notice that in the door, carved on the door itself. Again, it's sort of old and faded, but it says armory.
Huh. Well, Lucien's gonna kind of tap. Actually, he's gonna like knock on one of Zero's pauldrons and just be like, "Well, there. I don't believe we've met. My name's Lucien," and just put out a very formal hand.
Zero is gonna jump up, being slightly scared of the Lucien behind him, turn around, and with a surprised face on him, he will reach out a hand and be like, "Zero, nice to meet you. Where did you come from?"
Well, I was just over the table, just over at the table, just over there, and I'm just gonna kind of point over where Simmond presumably might still be sitting, give a little wave, and, happen to notice you took some interest in the door, and, looks like there might be some things in there. I wonder what exactly... Actually, as a matter of fact, can I try and investigate the lock? You know, with my artificial knowledge, maybe I can figure out what broke it in the first place?
Yeah, go ahead and roll for that.
Would you say investigation checks out?
Yeah. I mean, you're physically doing it. You're not just looking.
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead with investigation.
That's a 20 then?
That's a 20.
Dirty 20.
So it looks like just with age, maybe somebody gave it a good yank or knocked into it, but it doesn't look like it was well maintained, possibly ignored, and it's just basically broken over time.
And would you say the room's full of a lot of dust?
There's dust,
Probably too.
cobwebs.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of crates. There's, like I said, armor, the armor dummies with, plate mails and chain mails, scale mails. There's racks of what would appear to be pretty common, short swords, long swords, shields. Nothing really stands out per se. Simmond, what are you up to while these guys are looking in the room?
Simmond is investigating as well, although he is holding back a bit as he doesn't trust a randomly broken door inside the guild. We've been infiltrated far too many times over the years.
Fair enough. You guys still hear that whispering, and as you sort of get a bit closer, Simmond, you can hear it as well, very faintly. It doesn't seem nefarious, but it is just this odd sort of whispering sound. And as you sort of concentrate on it, it's pretty clearly 5 distinct different whispers, all at the same.
I think Zero is going to go ahead and use Divine Sense in order to detect if it's anything that is a celestial fiend or undead.
You do not pick anything up on your Divine Sense.
Okay, Zero's going to go ahead and walk forward into the room and just see more of the weaponry and what's going on in the room.
Before you enter, Simmond is just going to lay a hand on your shoulder and say, "You got this."
Zero's
For
going
those who don't know, that is the cantrip guidance.
I see.
Zero's gonna turn around and give a very strange, concerned look and continue walking forward anyways into the room, wondering who the heck this person is that just touched him.
Lucien will probably walk into the room muttering something under his breath of, clearly if no one's used these for 10 odd years, they're free to take.
All right, as you step in, it's very much that. It's a room with some crates that are dusty. There is, again, common, armory sorts in there, swords, shields, maces, flails, pikes, spears. You do, now that you stepped through the threshold of the room, you feel now more of an arcane sort of aura emanating from somewhere around closer to the crates. And it's a fairly sizable sort of shift, almost a pull.
Zero is gonna instinctively walk towards the aura.
Okay, that's fine. As you get closer, you feel it pull a little bit more and pull a little bit more. The hair on the back of your neck stands up a little bit, and on your arms, almost as if you're getting closer to like a source of electricity.
Random question. I have Nature's Ward. I cannot be charmed or frightened by elementals or fae. Do I feel this pull?
You feel that there is magic and that there is a source of arcane arts in the room. It's not so much a charming pull as it is a sense of power.
In a similar ilk, Lucien being magic is his life, essentially. We're all feeling this pull, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that'd probably throw up a couple red flags in his head. And Zero, hold on a moment. That Lucien kind of just walks around, adjusts his glasses a little bit, looking for any strange runes maybe, or some weird item that may be in this room full of dust seemingly is untouched by time, or just anything that might tickle my magic sense a little bit.
So, sorry, did you say that you cast Detect Magic?
No, this would be more of a maybe Arcana thing. I don't expect to get much out of it, just to get maybe a pointer of, is this a terrible idea?
Yeah,
Where
so you feel nothing nefarious. It's again you feel that there's a sense of something arcane, something of the arts within maybe one of these crates. You can tell that these disembodied whispers are not from the same area as this magical pull. That's actually on the other side of the room.
You know what, Zero? Don't think it's all that bad. You can just go that way. And Lucien's also gonna, since you mentioned the crates, which I didn't register before, I'm going to use my Artificer's right tool for the job to turn my artisan tools into kind of like a crowbar, sort of, and maybe start cracking open some of these crates just to see what might be inside of them.
Yeah, so you see one that particularly kind of picks on your, innate ability, and it's almost a sense of intrigue over a sense of over that pull. It's a small crate. It's maybe a foot by a foot, a square cube, and roll me a strength check.
Getting this interesting, feedback from it, I think I'm actually going to pause just before putting the crowbar in and kind of wait and see what the other two are doing before we possibly have a problem on our hands.
Okay.
Do I also really only feel the pull from that small crate?
No, you feel the pull more to where the mannequins, the armor dummies are. You can see that there is about 5 of them, sort of huddled, so it would be 2 straight up in the front. Plate mail. One is like a leather strap, almost like a barbarian with a giant pauldron with spikes on it. You can see there's something behind these two, with 2 other armor sets it's kind of tucked behind them, but you're getting that sense sort of from that direction.
I'm feeling pretty confident, so I'm gonna push through the mannequins towards the source that's pulling me that way.
All right. You see a very nice but dusty set of dragon scale armor.
Oh, not skunk armor.
Wow.
All right. I touch it.
As soon as you touch it, you hear in your head, choose.
I pick it up.
Choose the color.
Oh, red.
And the scales of the dragon hide shift into red, and you now have red dragon scale armor. I will send a link later on for you for the stat block on that.
Okay. Is it cursed?
You want to roll an Arcana?
Sure. And say, I don't think it normally talks. Let's find out.
Or that was just the DM's way of
Yeah.
getting you to pick the color of it, because I didn't know.
It's clearly a
Yeah.
sentient piece of armor.
Stranger things have happened. Let's see. I rolled a 6 plus my Arcana is a 0, so 6.
You can't quite tell. You don't get a nefarious feeling with that. You did feel a shift when you picked it up and you chose the color red. You did get the sense that now you do have it. It feels like if you were to put this on, you would have the resistances of a red dragon.
Okay.
Kind of feels
that
good.
Doesn't sound too bad.
On that note, I also completely forgot to describe a really important part of Lucien. He's completely missing his left arm and is replaced by a metal and wood prosthetic. It's like a robotic hand, basically. And due to that, he has 0 strength, really. So looking at the crate and the crowbar, he's going to quickly take a step back and just say, hey, you two look all nice and strong and heavy. Do you think you could open this jar of pickles for me?
Zero is gonna go ahead and walk towards the crate and try to smash it.
Yeah, you want to smash it?
Just break it open.
Okay, I'll say make a strength check on that.
Okay. This will load.
And
23.
oh yeah, so you very easily pop this, and your crate, the one that called to you more, it's longer. I would say about 2.5, 3 feet long by maybe a foot wide, a foot deep. Very dusty. And you notice as you're prying it open is that there is sort of carvings that are like zigzags in this wood, similar to how people would represent like lightning. And as you open it, you see just sort of like hay, straw, like cushioning for something that somebody might keep something valuable in.
Zira's going to go ahead and reach into the cushioning to grab whatever may be potentially in the box.
Cool.
Or the
Roll
crate.
Constitution saving throw.
Ruh-roh.
I'm just kidding. As you reach in, again, the hair on the back of your neck stands up, but now the hair on your arm stands up. Your mail, your plate mail kind of tingles. You feel your hair starting to stand up, and you touch something solid. And as soon as you touch this, it almost doesn't speak to you, but you know that this is like connected to you in some way. And as you grab it and hold it up, you see this really awesome looking, it's almost like a WWE belt. It is emblazoned with blue sapphire lightning bolts and yellow gold emblems. It is the Storm Girdle, which I will also give you. I'll read it real quick for the listeners. The Storm Girdle, or a Storm Girdle, is a wide belt made of thick leather branded with the symbol of cord. The girdle's clasps are made from dragon ivory. Now, this actually has 3 different phases, I guess. There's dormant, awakened, and exalted. We will say, for the sake of levels, that you are at awakened. As soon as you touch this, it like bonds with you, and it is awakened. So while wearing the Storm Girdle in its awakened state, you gain the following benefits. Your strength score becomes 23 if it isn't already 23 or higher. Your storm, so you can go into a storm avatar mode, so you basically become like a lightning person.
Okay.
I will link this so that you can read it, but you have like a lightning form that deals a bunch of lightning damage on attacks. And you gain a flying speed of 30 feet when you are when you're in this lightning avatar.
And I think I realized what you were trying to say now earlier. Are there like 3 separate poles for each of us?
Yeah.
Okay, I see. Cool. In that case, Lucien's gonna kind of grab his crowbar that's probably on the floor now, since Zira just went ahead and busted the crate open, and walk over to the last crate, kind of shove the crowbar into it, and whistle over for Simmond to kind of open this other jar of pickles for me. And
yeah, Simmond will come and help. He has giant strength, which usually his MO for this, he'll just pluck the nails out like he's pulling the stems out of grapes.
Lucien dejectedly takes his crowbar back and turns it back into a normal tool.
I'm not even going to make you do a strength for that. Simmond opens this smaller crate, and you see something similar to what you already have. Hopefully this isn't something you already have. I looked at your inventory and I didn't see it, but this is an all-purpose tool plus 3.
Wow, I was going to buy one of these.
Calling your name. This simple screwdriver can transform into a variety of tools as an action. You can touch the item and transform it into any type of artisan's tool of your choice. While holding this tool, you gain plus 3 bonus to spell attack rolls and the saving throw DCs of your artificer spells.
Lucien
so that is all yours.
Lucien's just going to pick it up, think it's just a screwdriver for a second, then do a double take, kind of pull out this little monocle thing he has in one of his duster pockets and squint at it a bit. And just throw his other crowbar across the room and pocket the screwdriver without saying much else. And then just kind of stick his hands in his pockets and walk back out the door.
Perfect. Leaving evidence at the crime scene.
Yeah.
All right. So, is there anything else? What do you guys want to do now? Completely up to you.
Well, we got some free loot. Is there anything else in here that we should be concerned about?
You still hear the whispers coming over from it's a bust actually, that you hear these whispers coming from. If anybody wants to make an Arcana, History, Perception, Investigation, you guys go for it. Let me know what you roll, and I'll give you more information if you want.
Okay, Zero is going to go ahead and... Oh, all of them suck. Hold on. Do an investigation.
Investigation. So you're gonna go over to the bust.
Yep, he's
Bust.
gonna walk over to the bust and investigate it further. So 18. So it's gonna be a 23.
Oh yeah. Okay. So walking over to the bust, you notice there is a hat on this thing. It's basically a cotton hat, almost like a jester's cap, and it has, instead of 5 ends with bells, it's 5 ends with little dragon heads on them, and each one is a different color. And it looks like a hat. It definitely, the whispers are coming from that. With your investigation check being that high, you can tell that, and it's basically the bust itself is just holding this item.
Zero's gonna go ahead and grab the hat and see what happens.
What exactly are you doing with the hat?
We'll go ahead and put it on.
Okay, can you roll me a wisdom saving throw?
Yep.
Please?
This one's real.
Remember, you still have that guidance as well, so add a d4.
And, if you're cursed, Lucien can probably figure out a way to fix it eventually.
So it will be a 18.
Oof. Okay. As you get the hat close to your head, you feel a very strong pull, and it latches onto the top of your head, and it's firmly latched onto your head. And now these whispers are much louder in your head, and you now have disadvantage on any saving throw that any check that involves investigation, perception, because of the basic annoyance of these constant whispers in your head, each in a different voice, and that's it. It is stuck on your head.
Okay, Zero's going to attempt to take it off, which I'm sure will be a fail, and just kind of fall down to his knees and close his eyes and just try to focus on what the voices are saying.
It is a jumble of just random whispers. They're not really saying much. It's more of a distractionary, go left, go right, up, down, no, take a left,
I
take a
got
step
you.
left. You get
Just
me?
a bunch of gibberish, yeah.
Just a bunch of
Complete
gibberish. And it's not
chaos.
super loud. It's just more of an annoying thing.
Okay.
It's not hurting your head. It's not causing you a headache. It's not causing you any damage.
And I also should include to this as well, Zero is a half elf. Part of it being high elf, and he's 5'5". So he's gonna go ahead and get up without really being able to do a whole lot more. Put on the storm girdle and kind of look over at Simmond to see what he's doing.
Simmond has already donned his armor as well.
Hearing that clatter of all the chainmail and plates from Zero, and he kind of dropped to his knees on the floor, Lucien's kind of going to pop back into the doorway, just sort of leaning in. He has a staff now, it looks like, in some of his bags already over his shoulder, like he was going to go out shopping for the day or something. Is everything all right?
Zero is going to abruptly say, absolutely not. I put on this hat and now I'm hearing voices and it just will not stop.
And I should say that as soon as he put that hat on, you guys stopped hearing the whispers.
Well, sounds slightly problematic. Lucien will put his grocery bags down. Always use reusable bags. And kind of walk over to Zero. Can I maybe investigate this hat? See if there's something really obvious on it, like a little tag that says, "Please don't put me on."
Yep, I'll get you to roll an Arcana for me. And Simmond, do you want to continue with what you were gonna while he's rolling that?
Oh, that's exactly what I was going to do, was just come over to investigate the hat. I'm not the most magically knowledgeable character, more of a wisdom-based person, but the wisdom would have been to not put the hat on.
Yeah. Perception might still be useful too.
I'll give you advantage with help on the Arcana.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow, I
Here,
rolled
I would say you're doing the Arcana. I'll help you, and I'm going to try to be perceptive. I'm just opening my senses to the room, seeing if anything is shifting since this hat incident, including Zero's expression.
I hit a 21 both times on that roll, so
Okay.
not too bad.
So with that, you can tell that this is a cursed item. It is. You recall somewhere you read something about a hat that held the essence or a small piece of the great dragon god Tiamat, and you remember it was a hat, and then you recall that there was a funny little jingle about the Tia hat, and you're pretty sure that this is probably what this is. Yeah, you can very much tell it is a cursed item.
Lucien's gonna crack out that little monocle he had from before and examine the hat a bit, kind of climb onto Zero for a second, just getting a better look, turn Zero around a couple times to see all the sides, and then just one moment, and he sort of runs out of the room, comes back 10 seconds later with a book he's stolen from the Guildhouse library, and flying through all the pages. Yes. I think that might be something called a Tia hat. Someone tore out most of the page here, so I don't actually know what it does, but it does say that it's cursed and you shouldn't pick it up.
Zero's going to have a semi-annoyed expression on his face. Be like, well, that would have been nice to know before I actually put the hat on.
Yeah. Doesn't say how to take it off either, but I don't know, the voice is telling you anything?
Zero's going to go ahead and respond and just say, no, they're not. It's just a bunch of gibberish. I can't make anything out, even trying to focus on it.
Right. And DM, you said that I would know it's related to Tiamat? Or
yeah,
vaguely?
like from what you rolled on that Arcana, possibly just in name, it could have been whoever cursed it was a joker and decided to,
play on words,
together.
Yeah. Really, this book has just about nothing in it, and Lucien's just going to throw it into the same pile that his old crowbar went, and could just be a play on words, could be related to a dragon god. Who knows? Dragon god considering. Simmond, do you have any expertise in this area?
I don't know if I would call this expertise, but step back here a little bit there. And Simmond is going to uncork his water skin and use several iterations of the cantrip Shape Water to have a tendril of water snake over towards the hat and try to just lift it right up off of his head.
I'm going to say we're going to make a strength check, but we're going to use your wisdom being your spell modifier.
Okay. Well, I rolled a 19. Where's my wisdom? Plus 10, so 29.
29, okay. I'm going to have Zero. I need you to roll a Constitution opposed. So just roll for a straight Constitution save, I guess? Or Constitution check, let's go. That should be a little higher.
5.
5 even?
This might be a question of which dice to roll here. Your D20 was a 5, and what are you imagining he's adding to these?
My D20 was a 2, and my Constitution is a +3.
There's a +3. Oof.
Oh, yeah.
That's unfortunate. I can heal.
I can heal too. It's okay.
This water tendril grabs the hat, grabs all 5 of the dragon heads and just yanks super hard, and it's like this thing is super glued to your scalp, and it pulls and it hurts a lot. And to take 6 points of hair ripping damage.
Zero.
It doesn't feel like it didn't come off. It is stuck fast, like you almost picked him up by the head with this hat.
Hair ripping, you said.
Well, what else would we call it?
Zero is.
I imagine psychic damage, but
Yeah.
Zero.
But that's very interesting. Zero, how attached to you, or how attached are you to your current hairstyle?
Pretty attached.
Lucien just kind of step up, wave his staff around a little bit. Maybe given the magical nature of this, the first thing that might come off is his head. from his shoulders. So maybe we should take it easy with the pulling.
Zero's gonna go ahead after all that, let out a yelp, and look over at Simmond and be like, "What the heck were you doing? This thing is not gonna come off."
Not with that attitude.
I mean,
Zero's gonna go ahead and give an attituded look and just start to walk out the door, be like, "I don't have time for this. I need to go ahead and get on a quest. Maybe my next quest, I will get a baby dragon or something."
yeah, and I have groceries to do. Lucien's gonna walk back to his bags, but kind of just see what Zio grabs from the quest board over there, just since he saw there's some new things on it.
Okay, yeah. So you see three different notifications on there, 3 pieces of parchment. There is 2, one on the left top, one on the right top, and one sort of down in the bottom right corner. That's a bit smaller. Which one you want to grab? That's you, Lucien, right?
Lucien grabbed his grocery bags, and he's just he's watching what Zero does next to the quest board, because he does see that new things have come in, but like he's 50-50. He doesn't really want to do his chores, but we'll see.
Fair enough. So sorry, Zero, you're up at the notice board?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, there's one on the top left, one on the top right, and one on the bottom right.
Zero's gonna go ahead and grab the one on the top left.
Top left, okay. So the notification reads, it's an event notice. There is a busker festival in Beltram Park, which is just south of the Guildhall. There is a talent show, animal rides, and a bake-off with cash prizes today at noon.
Zero's gonna go ahead and take one look at that piece of paper and say absolutely not, and just throw it on the ground and grab the next piece of paper adjacent to it.
All right, so this is a job notice. Ilyana Hilaris is requesting assistance with a series of thefts from her bakery, offering a cash reward for anyone who brings the culprit to justice. The reward is 80,000 gold.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
What kind of bread did they steal?
Business is good.
Bread has some more things than bread in it. Zero's going to go ahead and note that, and then grab the other piece of paper and take a look at it.
Okay, this is just a notice from Nilasag, and it says, the lock on the armory has been temporarily damaged. Please use the honor system and stay out. Thank you.
Zero is immediately going to try to take off the girdle as he now realizes he stole something. And
Lucien's not putting anything back. In fact, he's gonna magically repair the Lucien's gonna magically repair the armory door.
Yeah. Is there a roll or anything for, I guess, your proficiency with your tool?
Not even that. Let's just go real legit here. Lucien's just kind of gonna slam his staff on the ground and cast the fabricate spell. And using the remnants of the lock that's already there and some of the scrap metal I had from earlier, I'm just going to build like an industrial grade master lock on the door. And it doesn't have a key. Oops. Anyway, minor oversight. Happens all the time.
That's fine. And like similar to Harry Potter where they clean up messes, it just sort of rewinds time in that one section, and the lock, remends itself, it becomes new, and then you see more iron added to it as it fortifies, going right over the hole where you would use a key to open that lock. And now the door is shut and locked, and I don't think you're putting your stuff back.
Zero's going to go ahead and look over at what happened with the events and get very upset. Like, how am I supposed to put this back now? I just stole this girdle without even realizing it. And he'll head up to the front counter, put the girdle on the counter, and be like, is there any way I can give this back? I did not realize that these items were potentially stolen.
Who are you talking to?
To the bartender.
There's nobody in here but you guys right now.
Oh.
Off day on the guild, I guess.
Talking to him, to the voices in his head.
Oh, perfect.
They shift their whispers to say, it's okay, take it. It's all right, take it.
Zero's going to go ahead and say absolutely not. He will figure out who to give it to later and just put it in his bag.
What do you guys want to do? Simmond, what are you doing?
I feel like we should probably attempt to undergo this quest, but I'm also very concerned about Zero and just keeping a very close eye on him.
Did the little dragons on the hat kind of move around at all, or are they animate, or is it just like a puppet almost?
Are they cute or not?
Oh, they are. Some of them are. One of them is cute. One of them is real ugly. One of them's real scary. It's almost like the movie Gremlins 2, where all the secondary gremlins come out and they all have different like personalities. That's similar to these, each head of these things. And yeah, they do move around a little bit. They don't just like flop and hold. They're sort of not going crazy or anything. It's not Medusa's hair, but
Honestly, it's a lovely hat. I don't know. I'd want to get rid of it.
Zero's gonna look over at the sarcastic remark and just move forward with starting to head over on that quest for the bakery.
Oh, there's a quest for a bakery? Lucien's gonna drop his grocery bags over in the corner again. Oh, shucks. Guess I won't be able to go out and run my errands today. And kind of just throw an arm around Zero. Well, looks like we should get going. Simmond, you in?
Yes. Simmond puts a hand on Zero's shoulder as they march off, and he tries to casually sneak a finger up under the rim of that hat.
Zero is going to swat away his finger. Meanwhile, in his head, thinking, I never invited these people to go on this quest with me. What the heck is happening? While...
Wait, I was being stealthy, so I think I need to roll a stealth check, and you need to roll a perception check opposing my stealth check to see if you notice my finger.
Oh,
at
that's
disadvantage.
Oh,
Wait, who has
right.
disadvantage?
Zero has disadvantage. He
'cause
has
all the
disadvantage
dragons.
on investigation. So if you want to write this on your sheet, you have a disadvantage on perception, investigation, basically anything that is an intelligence or wisdom check, essentially.
Okay.
It is a cursed object, so if anybody could remove curses,
There's
or
no
maybe a
clerics around.
door.
Might be someone in town, but it can't be that bad having it on.
What is the disadvantage modifier for them? Like just a negative
It's
one?
just you roll twice, and then you take the lowest roll on your d20.
Oh, okay. I got you. So
I got a 17.
Okay. Give me a minute. Let me roll one more time. 5. Okay. I don't notice it.
You
You
don't
see nothing.
You see nothing, but you also don't get your finger up between his scalp and that hat.
What happens?
It's like you feel almost like, how do I describe this? There's definitely a rim to this hat, but as you kind of poke up to this rim, you can sort of feel the hat like instinctively like tighten. Almost like there might be a sentience to it in a way. And it just does not let you get there.
Okay.
I will
right.
say that a high enough strength check will remove it, but it will cause some damage to your buddy.
Lethal damage?
I wouldn't say lethal damage, but yeah, he might lose all of his hair.
I
Oh.
can't.
It's all on how you guys want to play this.
I can't fix lost hair. I'm sorry. It's just once it's gone, it's gone.
It'll grow back.
I might not.
All right, so are you all heading over to the bakery? Those buns dough?
Lucien.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure. I didn't know what it was called.
Zero is
Lucien might
going
not
to
have gone if he
notate
heard, but-
that ironic name and go ahead and just see what the bakery looks like. He's going to observe the bakery before walking in.
Lucien's going to kind of lean over to Simmond, and 10 gold says they've lost their buns.
All right.
10 gold says they have great buns.
Fine, shake on it.
All right, so you guys head to those buns, though. Those buns dough. Mm-hmm. And you notice that as you leave the guild hall, the streets are sort of a bustle. There is people heading south towards Beltram Park. Everybody seems pretty excited and jovial. There's something good, and with all the weird occurrences and undead and just off stuff lately in the city, seems like a nice sort of retreat from all of that. and you guys head over to those buns dough, and it looks like a normal storefront. There is racks of fresh sourdoughs and oat buns, your standard white, brown. There is some fresh baked croissants, but not as much as you would have thought there would be. And it doesn't appear like anybody is going in or out of the storefront itself. And you can see just kind of through the window a red-headed woman frantically kind of, working around and moving around in the...
Is she facing away from us?
Yeah, she's not paying attention to the window. You could tell she's working, she's baking, she's attempting to get work done.
How are her buns?
Oh my god.
Thin and lean.
Simmond coughs over 10 gold.
Yeah, and it looks like they're missing a bunch of bread too.
Yes, you guys are only outside of the store. You're not in the store.
Oh, I see. So they have outdoor stands with bread?
Well,
We
you
look
guys
through
are
the
perceiving this
window.
through the window. Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I see. Windows.
I was expecting a very thick girl to own a store with that name. Okay.
Well,
This is a working class, hardworking looking woman, red hair, tanned, human.
Lucien just pats Simmons' shoulder. We all make poor decisions. I don't.
She should have opened a pancake store.
Zero's gonna go ahead and put his hand over his face at all the distasteful remarks and go ahead and enter the door.
All right, as you enter the door, a little bell dings. And she... Oh, I should ask, where are your tattoos, everybody?
Lucien's is like engraved into the metal of his prosthetic, kind of right on the outward facing side of his shoulder.
Visible?
Yeah, it's very visible.
Mine's on my right shoulder.
Visible?
Also very visible.
Okay.
Are these guild tattoos?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we all have one tattooed on us somewhere.
Zero's is gonna be on his butt cheek, so...
Not visible. Okay. So as she hears the bell, she stops what she's doing, and she's frantically, like, with a rolling pin, rolling out dough. She turns around. She's got really nice hazel eyes. She's about in her 30s. And sorry, she's a half elf, not a human. She's about 5'8". Very nice, like rusty red hair. It's tied back, and she's wearing like a flour-dusted apron, a loose sort of shirt. Her sleeves are rolled up, and she looks over at you guys and goes, "Oh, it's about time. The fire-breathing kittens, thank you. Are you here for the job?"
Well,
She's Irish?
Listen, I'm not the best Irish.
it's not too bad. You're there somewhere.
I got that you were Irish. I'm just like, are the Irish good bakers? I thought she would be
I think they're
Italian.
lovely bakers. Lucien just kind of steps up. Well, actually, I was hoping to grab a couple bagels, but we can absolutely help with for that reward. Whatever you need found, we'll find it.
Half me baked goods have disappeared. I got ready for the bake-off at the Busker Fest there, and they're gone. I had to send my assistant all by himself. I'm here frantically trying to keep up.
How long ago did they go looking for this lost breads?
No, they went to the festival.
Oh, I see.
I had to send them all by themselves. I'm trying to catch up on my other orders.
I see.
I have 50 loaves of bread I have to make today.
How good are you two at baking?
Very good.
Yeah, it's just alchemy. I mean, what could be just give me the ingredients and the instructions. Maybe we could help you out.
Well, keep in mind, you have to proof all of this. This isn't gonna be done today. This would have had to have started at 3 a.m.
Oh, no.
Fair.
I don't need help baking. I need help finding what happened to him. I want the culprit brought to justice.
Oh, I see. Yeah, we're pretty good at killing things too.
Zero's
Killing is a strong word.
Details. Just gotten across, probably. Lucien's gonna look around. Are there bagels available?
Make a perception. Actually, no, you don't need to. You got a really high passive. There's bagels. There's only a couple.
There's only cinnamon raisin.
No
My
cinnamon
favorite.
raisin. There is onion, and there is an all grain.
Interesting. Onion bagels. Why not? I'll take like a baker's dozen of those.
A baker's dozen of them?
Yeah. Why not?
All right. She'll pack up a baker's dozen, and she'll how about I say on the house for now, and we'll see what happens if you find what happened to all me goods.
So Zero's going to go ahead and say absolutely no killing things unless they're evil and deserve it. And he is going to go ahead and ask the bakery woman where she believes her goods were potentially taken to, or if there's any clues of where the thieves might have gone.
All right. Well, listen. So we prepared a whole bunch of cupcakes and pastries and a very big cake for the bake-off. And, well, we came back the next day, all gone. Everything this morning was gone. There was a bit of a trail of flour and icing going out the back door, but we couldn't see anything else. We quickly gathered the rest of what we had, and my assistant took off, and I'm trying to catch up now. There was loaves of bread, there was brownies, eclairs, all gone. I have no idea.
Shame. You said there was... Oh, go on.
And it was all here in the store overnight where it disappeared.
Yes, we prepared it all last night, so that it was ready for this morning so that we could go down with it.
And is there any way that we might recognize your baked goods compared to other people's?
I always use a certain kind of vanilla icing on all my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Do you
got
have a sample of this?
Oh, of course. And she goes and grabs like a wooden bucket, and it's got like a bunch of white icing, clearly made from consent milk, icing sugar, and from the smell you can smell there's some vanilla extract or vanilla and a bit of coconut with it as well, which is what makes theirs like sort of special. They add a bit of coconut with their vanilla.
I'll put a big dollop in a jar in my bag here for comparison later. Okay. And I'm just gonna look around the room. Are there any like potted plants in this storefront?
No potted plants. No potted plants. It's very clean. There's racks of where breads would be. There is the ovens off to the back. You can see the back door, and you can see that, there's a bit of trace remnants of some of this icing on the frame and on the floor, almost like something was dragged a little bit. Mm-hmm. She never bothered to clean up because she was too busy to do that.
That's actually perfect. Lucien kind of just goes to reach for his grocery bags, and he's like, right. You know what? You can just hold on to these for now, and, like we were agreeing there, I'll take them when we finish this quest, just so I don't lose or otherwise damage these lovely bagels. And would you mind if I took a look out this back door here?
Oh, no, of course, please. Whatever you need to do to investigate, it's yours. Just stay out of my way for a little while if you don't mind. I really got to get bacon. I have customers that are going to be knocking on my door in the next few hours, and I got to get these orders done.
I'll not even see me. And as a bit of a joke, Lucien's going to stamp his staff on the ground and just go invisible.
Okay.
Zero's gonna go ahead and ask the baker, could I have any brownies once we complete this quest on top of the reward? Because I will do just about anything for brownies.
Of course, anything. Please just help us figure out what's going on. I cannot have this happen again.
Completely understandable. So he's gonna go ahead and start to walk out the back door and just see if he can see anything in the environment, like where the icing leads or anything like that.
Yeah, and somewhere around there's an invisible Lucien also snooping.
Simmond?
I think we should also investigate this back door.
So, we know that Lucien has a crazy high investigation. So you notice there is these sort of drag marks and this icing There's flour. If you were to open the door and go out into the back alley, again, you'll see it's starting to like, I mean, as it drags, it doesn't continually create a long, like you couldn't follow this per se. But there is some remnants here and there of like icing and some crumbs. You see a couple seeds from like, poppy seed on different things, some sprinkles, no footsteps, nothing.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask that. So it looks like whoever orchestrated this great bread heist, they didn't even have like a wagon or anything. They just ran off with it, dragging it along the ground for the most part.
That's what it looks like. About 10 feet outside of the door, the drag marks kind of disappear. They are heading south.
Just a voice is going to come out of thin air and just, well, I think we're either dealing with leprechauns or something that can fly.
Zero's gonna go ahead and make a slightly worried face. Leprechauns are something that can fly. What makes you say that?
Oh, well, Lucien's going to uninvisible himself and kind of walk over and point at how there's drag marks but no footsteps, nothing to imply the existence of anything here besides the dough, and then all of a sudden it just randomly disappears in the middle of the field. I guess teleportation's an option too, but footsteps are a curious one.
As you guys are looking in the back alley, Ileana will stick her head out of the door and say, one more small thing. We did start using different spice in our bacon to try and, bump up the competition. I'll always do, whatever I can to make me bacon better than everybody else. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but it's the only thing that's changed, and yesterday was sort of the first time we've used it. I'll let you take it, just in case it helps. And she hands you a brown little leather pouch that has like a substance in it. Whoever wants to take it, if you want to look at it.
Is it by chance golden dust?
You're looking at it?
I guess Lucien will just kind of grab the pouch, take a look at what's inside.
So it looks like a variety of spices. There's a bit of cinnamon, a bit of allspice. There's some sugar in it, brown sugar. And then sort of as you move this pouch to kind of look at it, there is the slight glisten of a substance that you all have been hearing about. Simmond had a bit of experience with it. I think you might have had some experiences with Zero. You're not sure.
Very recently, in fact.
Yeah, it's golden dust, isn't it?
Just slightly.
It's everywhere here. Okay.
As that happens, I need you all to make a quick perception check. Please.
Okay. And ma'am, we might have to report you to the FDA, but we'll see if we can negotiate the price for this quest after that. Don't worry about it.
As soon as she gave it back to you, she ducked back into the to start working.
Rolled
again.
a 19.
A 19?
Rolled low, 14.
That's a 12.
Okay. So only Simmond will see this, but there is a rustling there's like a crate against the wall in this alley with a bit of like paper debris and a rat very quickly runs down the side of the wall, like across, down, out, and slowly from where the rat came, like this rat was scared, running. Slowly from where that rat came out of, you see a cupcake with a big mouth, kind of in the side of it, sprinkled teeth, and an icing tongue, and it's using the tongue to drag itself. And it looks at you. It's
sounds about right.
And it starts to come at you. Can you roll initiative?
Yeah, Lucien hasn't seen it yet, so.
How big is this cupcake?
It's not very big. It's a normal cupcake size.
And adequately, he rolled a 6 on initiative, so he definitely hasn't seen it yet.
I'm wondering if this is going to be an actual initiative.
Got a 4.
Or 12, but...
I would say that, Simmond, you've seen it before it noticed you. So you could take a pseudo attack of opportunity or an action before initiative actually will start. Whatever you want
sure.
to do.
This is a cupcake, a standard-sized cupcake.
With a big mouth that takes up the majority of it, with big sprinkled teeth and a big long icing tongue. Essentially, it looks like a mimic cupcake.
Yeah, but it's like the big mouth is like 2 inches.
Yeah.
Okay.
A big mouth for a cupcake.
I'm going to take a jar and just turn it upside down and put it on top of the cupcake.
Make a dex check. Sure, I'll do a dexterity check to see if it doesn't try to...
12.
Actually, I'll oppose that with an athletics. I wasn't expecting you to try this. Okay, so...
Maybe it's a surprisingly strong cupcake. I don't know.
We've got a natural 20.
Oh,
plus
wow.
1. So as you go to put this jar over top of it, the tongue lashes out and grabs your wrist and hangs onto your wrist. So the jar cups over the ground. The cupcake is now sort of swinging off of your wrist by its tongue, and it is slowly pulling itself towards your wrist. It wants to take a chunk out of you.
Oh, well then at this point,
Now
this is initiative.
Now
right?
we'll say we're in initiative. Yeah. So.
All right. So now it's my actual turn.
So sorry. What did everybody get again?
4.
6.
You 0 is 4.
Mm-hmm.
Lucien is 6. Simone is 12, and a 2. So yes.
Wow. I wanted to see what this poor little cupcake could do.
All right, all your go. If you guys want to pre-roll, you probably won't have to, but if you want to pre-roll your attacks or whatever, go ahead.
No, I'm pretty sure this is going to be... Yeah, I'm going to use Primal Savagery. Normally that makes your hands into claws, but my character is Blunt Force, so it just gives him Hulk hands. And he's just going to smash straight down. And this deals 3d10 damage.
Oof. Okay. Roll your...
12 damage.
Okay. It's still
Blunt
up.
Force. Oh, is it? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Sturdy little cupcake.
So it did not squish. All right.
It didn't
good to know.
squish. You did take some of the... it's surprisingly... So as your Hulk hand hits this guy, it's surprisingly much more dense than you would have thought it would have been for a cupcake. You know, it looks like a really nice, moist, pretty tasty cupcake. But your Hulk hand smashes into it, and just some of the icing that's on the top kind of scuffs off, and it's still slowly retracting its tongue to grab still hanging off your wrist to grab your wrist, and it's...
Dude, freaking Irish bakers. I mean, it's this crusty soda bread cupcake.
Like I said, we need to call the FDA.
All right, and that's Lucien. That's your turn.
Yeah, I think the big guys probably have this little cupcake handled for the most part, at least for as long as it exists. So while it's still around, Lucien's just kind of going to wave his staff in the air. The end glows and Sanctuary gets cast over him as a bonus action. So he's probably not going to get hurt for the next minute or so. I'd be impressed at least. And I'm going to use my main action to just try and do like a varied Arcana-based kind of... I don't even know what I would call this. I want to try and figure out the origins of what this is. Like if it was just a cupcake that had a... I'm aware the dust does something to creatures, possibly mainly undead. Maybe the dust reanimated this cupcake. Maybe it's a mimic that thinks it's a cupcake. Maybe what's going on here?
Okay, roll an Arcana check.
That's a 25.
Yeah. So from what you remember hearing about this dust, you recognize that it does reanimate dead. And the basic thought process is this baked goods are cooked with milk, and that's must be binding to this Eckenblin dust and reanimating these baked goods. And she just made a whole bunch for a bake-off.
Lucien is terrified in multiple ways by what this all implies. But he's going to keep his comments to himself for the time being. And you just hear Lucien kind of mumbling to himself, this is going to be a rather psychedelic day. And that's my turn, yeah.
All right. That goes to 0.
Okay, Zero's gonna go ahead and try to stab the cupcake.
All right. Make an attack roll.
So it is 4 plus 2, so 6.
You rolled a d20?
Oh, no, hold on.
So it would be a d20 plus your proficiency, which is 5.
So it is 16.
16 will do it. You go ahead and roll damage on that. You use your longsword?
Yep.
And are you using it one-handed, two-handed?
One-handed.
So that's a d8.
So the first one, since I get a plus 2, is going to be a 4, and then I can make an extra attack.
And you'll still roll your d20
Yep.
for your second attack.
So 15.
15?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's pretty good. You definitely stab into it. In fact, you actually stab it. You kind of slice when you stab, and it actually knocks the tongue right off of it, so it falls back down to the ground. The tongue is hanging from Simmond's wrist, and it's kind of, you can see it doesn't have its appendage anymore to move itself around, but it kind of hops itself back up like a person in a sack potato, and it is like it's still there, but it does look pretty worse for wear.
Zero's gonna go ahead and make a quick comment about what the heck kind of demon cupcakes are we making over here, and go ahead and try to attack it again.
How many attacks do you have?
I just have 2.
You have 2? Okay, so you did your 2.
Yeah.
If you have anything that you can do a bonus action with, or you can use some movement to move around, you're both 5 feet away from it, so you're both within attack range.
I don't think I have anything else, actually.
No? So we'll say that's the cupcake's turn. All right. The cupcake is, now that it's lost its tongue, it's going to jump at the last person that attacked it, which was 0. And 0... Oh, that's not going to hit for sure. That is a... Oh, no. That's only a 5. So, yeah. It doesn't hit. It misses its hit. It does actually get 2 attacks. So, it's going to try a bite again. 16 plus 5, so it does a 21 hit.
That's my AC, right? Yeah.
21's your AC?
No,
Right.
no, my AC is 16. AC is what hits or not, right? So
Yeah.
it would hit.
Sounds like it got hit.
Got hit.
All
It's
right.
strong little cupcake.
It's a very strong little cupcake. Oh my gosh.
The worst here. Okay. That is 7 points to you. It just bites onto your leg, and it doesn't pierce your boots, your armor so much as it dents it slightly, and you can feel sort of the crushing pressure of it, and it pinches your ankle.
Zero's gonna make a quick comment. Can somebody get this cupcake off of me?
And we're back to Simmond.
All right, the cupcake is still attached to his leg, correct?
It bit and let go. Like it bit and then dropped back down, yeah.
All right, we're going to cast Create Bonfire. Lets me create a 5-foot cube of fire. Can you give me a dex saving throw on that cupcake?
That is a 19.
All right.
Oh, sorry. It's an 18. My apologies. I was looking at the Constitution.
Okay, still, my spell save DC is 17. So he passes the dex saving throw, which I think actually means he takes no damage from this. But is he flammable?
Yeah, he could burn.
Okay, well, he is now ignited, but took no damage from his dex saving throw as he sits inside of a bonfire.
Fantastic. It does not like this. The icing is starting to drip down. His sprinkled teeth are slightly melting, but he is there. He doesn't look happy. And now it is Lucien's turn.
Yeah, I'll just kind of look around at everyone. Well, it unfortunately does appear that the Acklebloom dust that was mixed into the spice might maybe have reanimated a lot of the food that was supposed to go to the festival. Hopefully it just ran off into the woods, but this might be slightly problematic for the town. Let's just take care of this little one here. And Lucien's going to... Actually, I think I'd like to research this thing a little bit more. And I need it to give me a dex save. It has to beat 21. Because that all-purpose tool you gave me on top of the Staff of the Magi gives me like a +5 to my spell
succeed.
stuff. Yep. And Lucien is casting, can't pronounce that, but the actual spell is Resilient Spear. And that essentially, it's like a very tiny force cage that's just around a creature. They are basically in a ball for the next minute. And I'm going to just... They're in a hamster ball. The mimic is in an indestructible hamster ball. Assuming it doesn't know... does Disintegrate break this? Let me just see real quick. Yeah, Disintegrate is the only thing that can destroy the sphere. Yeah.
So it is stuck in a sphere with fire. It is now superheating in this sphere. Pressure's building up. The icing is melting more and more.
It has to make a dex saving throw every time it starts or finishes its turn in the fire.
Okay.
And it'll take damage anytime it fails.
Okay.
It cannot roll the hamster ball willingly.
Okay. So it is stuck with all this. Great. Okay, then. Is that your turn?
Yeah, that lasts for a minute. Lucien will kind of pick up the flaming hamster ball and just give it over to... just toss it over to Simmond.
Okay. Wait, are we out of...
No, you're still in initiative, technically.
That's my bonus action.
Thanks.
Yeah, we can play catch with it while it burns alive. Whatever you want to do.
Well, it's Zero's turn now.
Okay, how do I see if I have a bonus action or not, real quick?
You always have a bonus action. There are you always have an action and a bonus action. Most of the things you do take an action. If it says that your ability takes a bonus action, then you can also do that in addition to an action.
Okay. While this cupcake is burning in this beautiful sphere of fiery glory, Zero's going to go ahead and focus and concentrate for 1 minute on Thunderous Smite. And he's just going to make a quick comment like, now it's on fire and in a ball. What more could go wrong?
Could serve it like a baseball. Smack it out of the sky.
So you're going to hit it? That Thunderous Might is an attack?
It's a spell, yeah.
It's a spell? Do you want to read it off just for the audience and for myself?
Yep. Casting time, 1 bonus action. Concentration up to a minute. The first time you hit with a melee weapon attack during the spell's duration, your weapon rings with a thunder that is audible within 300 feet of you. The attack deals an extra 2d6 thunder damage to the target. Additionally, if the target is a creature, it must succeed a strength saving throw or be pushed 10 feet away from you and knocked prone.
Okay, perfect. Go ahead and roll for damage then. A d20 plus your proficiency.
If I can, I'll drop the globe effect like right before he hits it. Otherwise, the globe would catch the attack.
Fair enough. You guys are going to be done after this anyway.
It's going to be a 24.
You hit it. Hey, don't even roll damage. Don't even. It's okay.
It's a home run.
You swing your sword, and just as you're about to connect with the globe that Lucien put on this, it dissipates, and the fire bursts forth just from the pressure that built up within this airtight ball, and your sword connects with this delicious pastry beast, and it just splats. It's all gooey and melty. Your sword is covered in the viscera of moist cake goodness and sprinkles, and it is done, and you are out of initiative. And that, I think, is where we're going to call a quick break. Yeah, we're about that time. Today, joining us is Zero.
Goodbye, everyone.
Lucien.
I have the slight feeling that things are about to get a little messy.
And Simmond.
I agree with that. But speaking of mess, you know what we love more than anything else? Messy reviews. So somebody left a review here. Pixie Girl 197 left a review that says, I just love Simmond. I love that I get to read this one. He is just the ideal husband. I keep telling my boyfriend he should be more like this, and he never does. Where can I find one? Well, I'll tell you what, Pixie Girl, you can find one right here at Fire Breathing Kittens. We are here for you every week. So leave us a review. We'll read them on air.
We hope that you're enjoying this episode of the Fire Breathing Kittens podcast. This episode's shout out is from Dan454, who says, quote, "This is a very special shout out to a super awesome dude. Happy birthday, Seth. May your day be full of cake and fun and more awesome. You're really cool, not boring at all. Mom and Dad say you're the best ever and want everyone to know how amazing you are." Can you think of someone who might enjoy this podcast? Please share it with them. Is their birthday coming up? A special day? We can wish them a happy message on your behalf. You can arrange for us to read your shout out on air at firebreathingkittenspodcast.com through our partnership with the website Buy Me a Coffee. Do you enjoy reading books? You can find ebooks, paperbacks, hardcover novels, and audiobooks based on our adventures on Amazon.com. The authors do a great job of adapting the stories into fun novels. We also have official merchandise on Redbubble.com. Imagine owning a notebook with the Fire Breathing Kittens logo on the front, or a t-shirt with one of your favorite characters. Lastly, we don't pay to advertise this show, so the only way we can grow is if you tell someone about us. Is there an episode that would make that person smile? Tell them about it. Thank you.
Welcome back to Fire Breathing Kittens. Today we are joined by Zero,
Hey, everyone.
Lucien,
Let's get cooking.
and Simmond the Kind.
Careful, the cupcakes bite.
Who wants to do a quick recap?
I think I can take this from here. So it was a lovely morning, and I was just dealing with my potions and creating a new, I guess you can't say feathered, friend. And, I noticed one of our newcomers, Zero, was looking a bit oddlong at one of the doors in the guild house. Turns out the lock had broken, and there was a rather unattended to armory there. Being curious, of course, we somehow all ended up inside, and besides hearing a couple voices, there was also a few strange magical pulls in our heads. We found some shiny items, which I believe Zero wanted to return for some reason. And he also happened to find a really nice hat. I mean, if only I had picked it up first. It does seem like the hat might be giving him a migraine or something. Who knows what's going on there? But it has these pretty animated dragons. Can't hear those voices anymore. Wonder where they went. But eventually, we did go over to the quest board, and it looks like we all had nothing to do for the day. And there was a baker who'd lost their buns, and we're paying a hefty sum to get them back. So without further ado, we set off towards those buns, though, and eventually found a nice Irish woman who, well, she had lost her buns. As it turned out, they just up and walked away last night. After buying some bagels and asking quite a few questions, we were directed to investigate some icing trails left over by the back door, and after we took a gander, we seemingly were attacked by a monstrous cupcake, which has now been eviscerated. And that's where we left off.
All right. So, right immediately after all the commotion, you see Ilyara's head pop back out of that door and say, "Is everything all right?"
Well, we might have made a bit of a mess, but I think we're all fine. Might need to buff that out there, Zero.
And
I have something for that. Don't worry about it.
Zero's gonna go ahead and scoff and make a quick comment. I mean, this hasn't been the first time he's been covered in sticky white goo before, but it definitely wants to be maybe one of his last.
Ilyana's gonna why does this happen in my games? Ilyana's gonna see Ilana's going to see that there is a mess everywhere, and she's going to proclaim to the whole group, like, what happened down here? What's going on?
Well, I think I know what happened to all your buns. It turns out that nice gold dust that you found on the ground that you probably shouldn't have put into your spices happened to turn them all to life. Probably anything that had dairy in them, maybe, or any other products that came from something living at some point. So they quite literally got up and walked away. One of your lovely cupcakes tried to eat my friend over there, so we... well, it's everywhere now, but we could probably track the others down if you want.
Oh, I didn't find it. I was given it. An old lady, a very nice one. She said, she came and she bought some products, and she said, this would probably help out. I'd be honest, some of me cupcakes can be quite bland. And she suggested we tried it. I can't remember her name. She was very nice, very old, very frail looking. She did say something about the festival. The festival. Absolutely everything I baked for the festival has the powder in it.
Right. I have a feeling we should probably hightail it over there, guys.
Agreed. Zero's gonna go ahead and make a quick comment. So an old lady came to you, gave you some mysterious powder, and now your cupcakes literally have hellfire in them. Maybe next time do not do that, but we will help take care of this for you.
Well, I mean, everything seemed all right. It was, just some general spices and whatnot. I mean...
Listen, I know the 80s were a wild time, but you really shouldn't put powder in everything you eat.
It could have been poison.
That too.
I suppose, there was that song, Don't You Put It in Your Mouth. Anyway, you should really run if you want to.
Yes. I actually have no idea where this festival is going to be, but we should probably get there in style. And Lucien's going to activate his hat of disguise, which is actually a circlet he wears around his head. And if you saw last episode, you know what he looks like, but mainly silk vest, shiny, lots of metal on it. His arm turns into like the Winter Soldier type kind of solid metal construction instead of being a rickety thing made of wood. And secondly, he's going to cast Fly on everyone.
Very cool.
I believe we need to fly south. I think we passed a bunch of people heading that way.
Yeah, it would be Bertram Park, if you recall from the notice.
I'm sure we could just follow the screams.
Follow the scream. I like his idea, if I'm being honest.
All right, so you all take off, and I'm curious to know, what does it look like when Zero flies?
Zero's never really flown before, so it's probably going to look very awkward and
like
just
swimming through the sky?
Yeah, like swimming through the sky, a little odd and, just not fully there. He's a little bit scared of heights too, so he's probably going to freak out a little bit.
All right, what's Simmond going to look like while he's flying?
Fairly graceful. He's actually reasonably used to it.
Perfect. And how does Lucien fly?
Lucien actually didn't cast Fly on himself. He has winged boots, which they're currently covered by the disguise, but he kind of just flies around like he has rockets on his feet.
All right, as you head south, you still see some crowds moving towards. The air of everything is still very jovial. You don't hear any screaming, nothing of the sort. You can see that the park is sort of fenced off. There is an entrance kiosk where they are letting people in. There's a bit of a line, but nothing crazy. We'll say that you set down right at that entranceway. You can see the general layout of the park as you approach. There is the bake-off sort of closer to the back of the park. There is the animal races almost immediately when you come in and to the right. There's the buskers themselves, which are all sort of lined up in a row. You actually see fellow FBK guild member Pugsley, who is a friend. He's also a busker that literally works on the street in Nicomoy, doing his arrow tricks. There is bobbing for apples, and you can see a stage sort of in the middle of it all, set up for what you would guess would be the talent show. Everything looks pretty happy. There's kids screaming, adults yelling at them. Everybody seems to be having fun. No craziness right yet.
Huh. I guess the food likes to be eaten, maybe?
Possibly.
That doesn't speak well for what's going to happen to the people who eat it, though.
That's true.
When you enter the gate, it is probably about 10:30 in the morning now. As you enter the gate, you see the Busker Fest time frame, and it reads that general entertainment and buskers open to close. Talent show is 11, and then the bake off is right at the end at 1 o'clock. And there is a half orc taking tickets, handing out tickets for rides and whatnot, if you wish to purchase any. And he's just basically the guard blocker for the event.
Maybe we could ask the staff if they've seen anything interesting going on. I mean, what do you guys think we should do? Because this is a big venue.
I think there's not a lot of killer cupcakes around right now, and I'm going to go ahead and look around in the environment at the rides and just how big are the rides?
So there's no real rides per se. There is an animal ride, which oddly is devoid of any animals. You do see a turtle or turtle person out front, and there is kids approaching him, and as they come up, he does a wave of his staff, and an animal appears. Kids get on it. They go for a very quiet round around. It doesn't look like the race itself is actually quite started, but he's basically giving kids pony rides right now.
Lucien's gonna kind of twirl his staff around a bit, kind of shoulder nudge Simmond, and you druids do this thing where you turn into creatures or something, right? Do those kids look like they're having a lot of fun to you with that tiny little ride over there?
They look all right to me, but maybe we should investigate closer.
Yeah. Maybe.
Zero has already walked up to this animal ride, just not paying attention to anything else going around him, just seeing the ponies.
Yeah, well, are they like a spectral, like is it like a magic conjured pony or something, or is it?
I would say he's basically using like a summon animal spell to bring forth the ponies for the kids to ride on. As you approach him, he goes,
hey man, like you guys are a little old for the pony rides, but like in like 10 minutes the animal race starts.
Race?
Yeah, you could win like 200 gold if you win.
So
Do you have to be an animal?
Oh no, man, you like ride one.
I see. What kind of animals in this race?
Well, I mean, I'll just conjure one up for you, and that's what you get, you know?
So we can't bring our own.
Oh no, like you could. I mean, it's got to be an even playing field.
Yes, of course.
how do we know you would make an even playing field? What if my animal was a little bit slower than the others on purpose?
Well, I mean, unless somebody's giving me a little cheese on the side, I ain't gonna be doing any of that stuff, man.
Also, where are all the animals? Why is there a cage with nothing in it?
I like, do my little thing and, they just poof. I'll be honest, I'm not the best at it, but yeah, 5 more minutes and we can start if you want. There's no entrance fee. So far, nobody's signed up for it.
I see.
I mean, I've been a velociraptor before.
That's you. Hey, kid. Lucien's just kind of gonna climb onto the fence. Hey, kids, do you want to ride a velociraptor?
they're all like, I don't know what that is, but, Mom.
Zero's gonna facepalm.
They get around the track, the ponies disappear, the kids get off, and the parents just kind of take them away, looking at the crazy 3 people that are standing there.
Okay, well,
This turtle guy is just looking at you.
All right, so you guys like nobody's here to race, but you 3. You want to go, or
Why not?
it's up to you. I mean,
Sure.
there's you can go bob for apples, or I think the talent show starts in like an hour. The mayor was being running around. He's been saying like, only one person signed up for that too. So I mean, this is kind of being a bust, to be honest with you.
You said the horses or ponies, they're all just going to be your conjurations. I think the talent show is where we can have some real competition here. What do you say, boys?
I think we should do everything we can to help this place be a success. And it'll help us stay feet on the ground for when the cupcakes attack.
The what? Sorry, I didn't hear that.
For when the cupcakes attack?
Whoa, like what are you talking about, man?
No, he had some sugar this morning. Don't worry about him. Right? There's no attacking cupcakes. That's
No,
preposterous.
it's definitely an expression.
Yeah, figure of speech.
Well, hopefully the cupcakes don't come attack as animals, but I'm not really interested in the talent show, but I'll go and watch.
All right, like 2 minutes and we gotta start, guys. You wanna
Sure,
step
yes.
up and see what I can do?
Let's mount up. Yeah, sure.
I've heard that one before, and it's been a disappointment.
All right. Can I get you guys to roll me a d6 and give me the number?
I see. Off to the races. I got a 1.
You get
4.
You get a 4? Mm-hmm. Simmond?
I got a 1.
Can you re-roll that for me?
Sure. 4.
Can you re-roll that for me?
Which Monopoly piece are we getting?
All right, that's
There we
okay.
go.
That's okay. Okay, so with a 1, Lucien, you get a very ornery looking donkey.
Oh, wow.
He doesn't like you. He is trying to bite you.
I don't like him either.
And he's not happy. He's gonna listen, but he's not happy. With a 4, 0, you get a pony. But this pony only has 3 legs, 2 back legs and 1 middle front leg. So it's still gonna run normal. It's not gonna hobble like crazy, but it's almost like riding a 3-wheeler, a tricycle from your childhood. And Simmond, you have a spider llama.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a llama with 8 legs.
Oh, no.
That sounds like something fun to wild shape into.
It's it's not walking with its legs straight. It's walking, they're extended out like it's almost terrifying if it wasn't so cute and fluffy. How this race is going to work, there's mechanics for it. You all have a feature, and I should have thought about this more before because Simmond probably has the higher of it, but you all have an animal handling attribute.
Yep.
So what we'll do is we'll roll 3 times. If you want to go ahead and roll those now,
Roll what?
roll a d20 with your animal handling.
Yep. Yeah, okay. First roll is a nat 20 for the
My
race.
first one was a nat 22.
Oh, nice.
11, 13, 19.
Oh,
I got
okay.
23 and 8, and a +1 to them for animal handling.
So 22, 35, 42 was the total of mine.
That's okay. Okay.
And I have a +5. So 16, 18, and 24.
Insane. Okay. So, this turtle guy goes,
All right, get ready, get set.
and he holds up his staff, and a big, burst comes out of it, like a gunshot, and your animals take off. The 3-legged pony, surprisingly, just books it, and it is the smoothest ride you've ever felt on a horse. It leaps with its back 2 legs, landing on its front leg, and it's like they're just working consecutively, almost like a cheetah, like back legs forward, front leg back, and it moves. Your bitey donkey, surprisingly, is trying to bite this pony. It wants to get a chunk out of it, and it is just taking off as fast as possible as well. You're neck and neck right now.
I imagine Lucien is like almost falling off the thing, just like grabbing onto its mane, causing more distress.
It's okay. It was your nat 20s that got you this. Simmond is a little bit behind. The llama doesn't quite know how to use all 8 legs properly quite yet. You know, it just came into existence a few minutes ago. But it's not far behind. And you rolled both your 2 or your 3s?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And you're going around, it's neck and neck. Simmond, he pulls forward. The donkey tries to take a chunk out of the spider as it takes a bite. As it passes, the 3-legged pony stumbles a little bit and falls back. So now it's the donkey and the spider llama neck and neck. Lucien and Simmond. And you come around the bend. The 3-legged pony catches up, and surprisingly, you all tie. It's a 3-way tie, and this turtle just is beside himself.
Like, I've never seen anything like it. That was crazy. I'm even surprised you guys could ride those. Like, I know I'm not a very good, I'm really not good at this job, but hey, like, listen, I got like 300 gold here. So, like, can we split it like 3 ways? Is that okay? And just we'll say that,
Sure.
All right.
So you guys all get 100 gold. He continues to take kids, except they all want like a 3-legged pony now. So now he's trying to produce more 3-legged ponies. He's not doing a very good job. Some of them are like 2 legs on the front, 1 leg on the back. There's a potbelly pig that shows up for some reason. And oddly enough, a camel with no hump, but the hump is actually like a reverse. So it's like an indent in the back. It would actually probably be a nice seat. And he's just doing these kids. These kids are excited. You guys have drawn a crowd and people were actually cheering for you. And it looks now like people are having a bit more fun and the crowd's sort of centered in. You guys can do some more things. It's up to you. There's, like I said, bobbing for apples. Actually, as you get off of this and you start to walk away, a figure starts heading towards you. It's a large dragonborn, black scales with a red spike crest that comes down. And he's got 2 big dragonborn, red and a blue, wearing like suits with sunglasses on at each of his sides behind him. He's carrying a cane that he doesn't really walk with. It's quite purely for show, and it's got like a red crystallized like fire on the end that he's holding and walking. And he's got like this white, nice sort of suit. And you recognize him as the mayor of Nickmoy.
Wow. Taxes have been going somewhere.
Mayor Fossil Fuels.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's the fire-breathing kittens. I've been looking for ya. I be honest, we got 1 person for the talent show. You guys be interested?
Well,
Is there a reward?
500 gold for winning. That was not what I wanted it to be.
Well, are the newspapers going to be printing who wins this? Or,
Ja. And you look over and you see another FBK member, Gatsby, who's writing notes. Likely none of it is going to be true of the events that happened. But there will be something in the, I believe it's the Guaso Guardian, I believe. Apologize.
Yeah, make sure there's a fire-breathing kittens advertisement in there somewhere. We could always use a bit more people in the guild. But yeah, sure. I'm happy to. I'm sure I got a couple tricks up my sleeve somewhere.
He also, and I be honest with you, we need some judges for the bake-off. The bake-off later. The other ones got sick, and we be needing some new ones. That's not fun.
We're always happy to help.
Are we though? Well, fine. I love
mayor.
being judgmental. Yes, you're right. Fine. Yeah, sure. Why not?
The talent show starts in like about half an hour. You could go into the
okay.
back and meet. There was only one other contestant, an ogre boy.
You have a name? Forgive me.
No, it's not your fault. It's mine for using only one document.
I thought Ogre Boy was like a stage name, like he would turn into an ogre or something.
His name is Felix Friendly.
Oh, well, he sounds friendly.
Well, you'd see. Head on backstage if you will.
Okay, well, you said 30
Okay.
minutes. Do you need a...
Well,
you need
if
to
you
go
want
back now, or-
if you want to prep, I mean, do you have I'm dropping this on you last minute. Do you know what you want to do, or what you would do?
I think I have a bit of a spur of the moment idea.
All right, then feel free to enjoy some of the other entertainment here. Happy that you're here.
Are either of you going to be performing in this talent show?
Zero makes a slight huff. Absolutely not. I think I'm gonna go get some apples.
One of the red dragonborn that's to his side whispers into the mayor's ear, and he nods at him, and he goes, "I'm sorry, I got other business to take care of. We'll see you at the talent show." And he walks
I
off.
suppose we will.
Yeah. Lucien, are you going to be in the talent show?
Yeah, no, I have an idea for this. I love wowing children. So this should be interesting. I have a plan. Old trick from a past life. This whole festival seems... I thought the mayor would be a bit more put together than that, but anyway, I guess we'll see. We have 30 minutes. So do you guys want to practice, or do you want to just show up last minute and give it a shot?
Oh, my partner's a bard. We sing all the time. I'm not as good as
Okay.
he is, but I'm sure I can whip something up.
Of course. You wanted to go Bob for apples, was it, Zero?
Absolutely. I'm a little bit hungry.
All right.
I think there are concessions, right?
Yeah, there's concessions. There's traditional like meat on a stick. There's a mead stand. There's different. This is primarily a busker festival, so it's like street performers. There's some bards with guitars singing.
Gotcha.
There is little like street magic tricks. There's a couple dragonborns that are just statues, they're just standing there. They're not really doing anything. With a hat beside them to collect coins. And yeah, there is some
see.
vendors as well. Some other ones like selling candles and whatnot as well.
Yeah, sure. I want to see how you and all your plate armor here deal with bobbing for apples. I'm sure it'll make a great splash among the crowds.
All right. So as you head towards the bobbing for apples, again, surprisingly, you seem the same Tortle Carney there, and it's like
The
Harry.
same guy.
he looks the same. And he greets you.
Harry, you look a little old to be bobbing for apples, but it's all on you. If you want to, it's all good. I don't mind.
Zero smirks slightly. And what am I gonna say? He just makes a slight smirk and goes like, "So how do we do this? Is this gonna be competition, or do I just go in and try to get one?"
So you actually notice that the bin, the bucket of water has no apples in it. It's just a bucket of water. And the water is like a little bit murky. It's not like the cleanest looking water. There's probably been some people using it for the last little while. And he throws in 5 real apples. And then he waves his staff over top, and all of a sudden there's more apples in there. And then he holds up 2 apples, and they appear to be a little bit more solid. And he goes,
These ones got gold in them. If you get them, you get the gold.
and he throws them in. So now it is a bucket full of apples in water.
In dirty water?
People have been sticking their faces in this water, and probably, yeah. I mean, you got orc kids and ogre kids and human kids and gnome kids and dwarf kids. There's probably some like beard hairs. What I need you to do if you're going to play is I need you to roll a d20, and based on that result, I have pre-laid out what you will get. It's just a straight d20.
Okay. Zero's gonna look very disgusted by that water and just say screw it and go ahead and try to go in for an apple. So let's see. I got a 6.
All right. You get nothing but a mouthful of water. You try to get an apple. It just does not want to go in your mouth. You're like a baby trying to get like something in its mouth itself. Like it's there, but it's not there. And you just have a mouthful of gross spit water.
Zero goes ahead and spits the water out and just takes a step back. Anybody else want to try?
Sure. Oh, go ahead.
You go. No, I insist, Simmond. You go first, please.
Well, I rolled a 16. We'll see what that gets me.
Oh, so a 16. You bite into an apple, and it is significantly more sturdy than what you think, what you know an apple would be like. This is not an ordinary apple. Being one of nature, you could definitely tell this as soon as your teeth touch it. And you have gotten yourself 5 gold in that apple.
Okay.
How nice. Lucien is going to whip out his little monocle again, which is actually a gem of seeing, which gives me true sight. So presumably the illusionary apples go away.
I mean, they're still there. You're going to dip your head in water, so I don't know how useful that'll be. But let's say that you roll this with advantage, so just give me 2 dice rolls and give me the bigger one.
Gotcha. And the bigger one, nat 20.
Oh, yeah, so you actually somehow managed to get 2 apples. Maybe your mouth's a little bit bigger than everybody else's, or just the way that they were connected when you had to like push them against the side to actually bite into these apples.
Lucien probably cheated with Mage Hand or something.
Possibly, but you actually have 10 gold out of these 2 apples. They were both gold apples.
Can I first Lucien just coughs and like prestidigitates all this mess off the apples in his face. Can I just get a normal apple? Like he's just handing back the 2 gold ones. Just wanted a normal apple, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, okay.
Preferably not from the water.
Oh yeah.
And he reaches behind him and grabs like an apple out of a basket that's there, and he just hands it to you and says,
all right, well, I hope you had fun.
And there's a bunch of kids. There's a couple kids in line behind you.
If you want to try again, it's you'll have to go back to the line.
Yes, I think I'm good. Thanks. Hopefully the water's not diseased.
No, you're all okay. Yes, all of you roll a constitute. No, just you're all good. You're coming up to about 5 minutes before the talent show now. After going there, doing the apple biting and whatnot, and it'll take about 10 minutes to walk over to it. So let's say you have 15 minutes.
Okay. Well, Lucien kind of just knocks on his kind of dwarven metal watch. Maybe time's getting a bit close, folks. What do you think?
Yeah, let's go. I'm really eager to see your act, Lucien.
Yeah, well, we'll see how good it is.
All right, so as you walk up to the stage, you can see there's like sort of magical curtains hung behind this wooden stage. By magical, they're just like held up by some sort of telekinetic spell. And you go back, and there's this single lonely ogre kid just sitting on a crate, kicking his feet back and forth. And he's like,
hi, how are you guys?
Oh, hello. I take it you're the 4th act, or third act, yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna win this whole thing.
I believe you.
he like
best man win.
Wipes like his hand like a kid would on his snotty nose, and he's pudgy. He's a big pudgy ogre kid, blue skin.
Blue. Interesting.
Yeah.
What are you guys gonna do? I'm gonna dance to my favorite bard is Mike Magic. I'm gonna like do his dance. It's gonna be awesome.
That sounds awesome.
Might be some competition. Mike Magic sounds like a powerful man.
Oh, he's like the best bard ever. Like, my mom is like obsessed with him.
I'm not surprised. Yes, if you'll excuse me, I just need to use the restroom. And Lucien's going to like backtrack off the backstage and start planting some rocks, which I'm just going to plant them around the crowd, 4 of them. I'm going to use magical tinkering to make it so they can emit a recorded message. I'm basically like speaking into these rocks, and it has a pre-recorded message basically.
Okay.
That I can trigger at a given time.
You doing this stealthily?
I mean, to everybody, just to see if I can mess it up. Because I do have disadvantage on stealth checks.
Roll me a stealth.
No way, right? Right, so I just rolled double nat 20s on D&D Beyond, but it does, at least that's what the dice look like. It does say I rolled a 4, so that would make my actual stealth a 4 there.
All right, so one of the staff members is an orc. He happens to see what you're doing, and he's like, "Oi, what you doing over there?"
I'm just moving these rocks around, and, they could be part of my act. That's just, it's a magic act, you see. These rocks are important.
All right, just garbage in the trash facilities afterwards, all right?
Wow, trash. Just don't touch these, please. Thanks. I would appreciate it.
Well,
Think of the children. They'll love the surprise.
Did you think of the children? They'll pick up rocks and throw them.
That's a fair point. I'll just...
And this is a tripping hazard. This is all where the crowd's gonna be. If it gets rowdy, people could fall. It could be a safety issue.
I'm going to ever so slightly bury the rocks in the ground.
Oi.
Just like the tiniest little layer of dirt. They're just pebbles. They'll be fine. No one will see them.
That's very small. Yes. All right. Thank you for being a outstanding citizen and helping me job along quite a bit better.
Never heard that one before. Lucien's going to hop back to the backstage after setting up these 4 rocks in each corner of the audience.
All right. So, as the last little bit of time goes by, does anybody else have anything to prepare? Simmond or Zero? Zero, you're watching? You're not going to participate?
No.
No, you're not going to watch or participate?
No, I'll be watching.
You'll be watching? Okay, you're going to cheer on your friends?
I'll think about it. I wouldn't really consider them friends. I just met them.
All right.
Passive judgment.
Jesus.
I'll be judging from the background.
Simmond, are you preparing anything?
No, I'm just gonna go a cappella.
Gonna go a cappella, okay. So
Clearing his vocals.
as the crowd starts to form, there's like a town crier out, and he's ringing a big bell, and it's like, talent show's about to start, everybody, talent show. And he's ringing this big bell, and the crowd starts to crowd around it. A little dwarf lady steps out on the stage, and a blonde dwarven woman with braids that come down on either side of her shoulders, wearing just very peasanty clothes. She's like,
No judgment.
All right, everybody. This is this year's first annual Busker Fest talent show. We have 3 acts for you. Sorry, we thought we'd have a little bit more, but I promise you there'll be a right fun time. All right. So, without further ado,
and she pulls out like a parchment, and she goes,
Lucien, Lucien, yes, Lucien, everybody,
and she like kind of looks behind and like, come here,
Yep.
Go Lucien! Yeah!
All right, so Lucien's going to adjust his disguise spell just a little bit, and just gonna add more fillery, some like twinkling sparkles and everything, and I'm gonna put on like a big wizard hat basically that matches the rest of the outfit, and going out there with Actually, before I go out, like the rocks all start to vibrate with the pre-recorded message, and in this like big booming announcer voice, come one, come all, children and old alike, come and see the magical, magnificent Lucien Dumar and his magical mysteries. Just booming like all magic show kind of stuff, and then Lucien is going to pop invisible, and just open the curtains wide, walk through. No one can see him for a couple seconds.
There's gasps from the crowd.
And then he's just going to snap his fingers, swallow the invisibility wears off, and he's like, hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. So, to start off, can one of the children in the audience please give me an animal? Any creature you'd like.
A frog.
A frog? All right, all right. Lucien's going to crack one of the potions he brewed this morning, which is an transformation potion. It lets me basically cast alter self, and I'm taking some liberty with the wording here, but I can create natural weapons, kind of like a druid, so I'm assuming I could probably alter... I can definitely change my appearance to look like a frog temporarily, but I want to like gain the ability to croak. I'm going to turn into a kind of like a humanoid frog creature, essentially, and just start like making loud croaking noises and have an illusionary tongue like going around. Clink, who's part of the act, is going to start like flying around over my head, and I'm like trying to catch him with the tongue, throwing this big show.
All right. Roll, you probably don't have anything on this, but roll performance for me.
Oh, I have a +0 to this, so... Ooh, I'm going to use my reaction as an artificer to, dear God, where is it? Flash of Genius, yes. I'm adding a 5 to the 7 I rolled, so that's 13.
All right. So the crowd cheers. The kid that told you to do a frog is like, that's not the frog I was actually asking for, but that's okay. That's kind of cool. That one orc that you've seen, that the staff member is like, oh, I know that guy. I talked to him. And they cheer you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so now Lucien's going to take out a shield that he stole from the armory on his back that he's infused to be like a repulsive shield, so things that hit it can like get fired off, basically. And he's just going to take a bunch of like fruits, start throwing them at the shield so that they bounce high in the sky, and he's going to throw another one of his infusions, which is a returning dagger. And it's just aiming it at the fruit to like fruit ninja through them. The dagger flies back through, takes them all out in like one big loop, and showers the crowd with bits of fruit.
Cool. What does Zero think of this?
Zero is sitting in the background with his arms crossed, just thinking in his head. He turned himself into a wizard glow stick, and now he's feeding everybody. Okay, I see his act here.
All the while, there's like wild fanfare coming from the rocks. Just tons of crazy music and things. But yeah, do you want me to roll for actually hitting those? No,
I'll say that you're. Yeah, go ahead. You know what? Let's see how good you do at this act.
Yeah. 15.
Yeah, that's no problem.
All right. And these fruits, watermelons, other fruits just rain down on the audience, all sliced up. Some people might like it, some people might hate it. Zero probably wants some apples or something.
There's some general consensus coming from the crowd that like there's maybe some food waste happening.
All right. Tough crowd. Well, let's see how much you like this. And I'm going to stamp my staff into the ground and cast Flaming Sphere in the sky, which is like literally a giant ball of... It's like Fireball, but it stays in place and it's a bit smaller. So that there's like a giant sun in the sky, essentially. And I'd like to... should have thought that through. I can't do that because they're 2 concentration spells. Oh no. Yeah, sure. I'm going to do some heavy flavoring in here, and feel free to call me out on any of it. But I'm also going to use the staff to cast Ice Storm, which basically does a similar thing, except it's a giant like blizzard. And I'm going to try and maybe arcane check for this, or arcana check for this. I'm gonna try and magically cause the fire and the ice to like turn into two dragons, like going at a war with each other, like the two elements.
That's fine. You do that. No problem. Just roll another quick performance check.
Okay.
And, you're getting oohs and ahs out of the crowd.
16 this time, but I am using my idea power. Flash of Genius, yeah.
Not bad. So as you do that, and it wraps up, and the fire dragon and the ice dragon kind of battle it out, and it starts to steam up. The lady dwarf comes on, and she re-announces your name, and asks everybody to give you a big round of applause, and you get a sizable applause from the crowd. Some more people, as the dragons started coming up, more people came in, causing quite the crowd to appear. So you walk off the stage, and she calls out, "Okay, next contestant, Simmond the Kind. Simon, yes. Please come.
That's fine. I can be Simon for you. Yeah, I was gonna sing an original song here that I wrote for my boyfriend that I haven't seen in a long time. We used to sing together a lot here. Clears his throat. When I am down and all my plants have wilted, when goblins come and my burdens grow, then I hold still and listen to the breezes. I hear your name and listen to the sound. You hold me close so I can feel the mountains. I hold you near with all your stormy seas. I am strong when you ride on my shoulder. I miss you more than you will ever see. Thank you. Thank you.
I think he wins.
I gotta roll performance.
You do have to roll
That's
performance.
True. I'm gonna give him a flash of genius as well, so out of 5 to whatever you roll there.
Oh. All right. Well, that roll was a 4.
Oof.
I know. Tough crowd. Really tough crowd. With +1, so I got a 5 plus whatever that your thing gives me.
So it's a 10.
Okay.
So the crowd is hushed, like you have dropped everybody's jaws, and as you finish the song, it stays hushed for a minute, and then that same little boy that asked for the frog goes,
I didn't get it.
and everybody just kind of laughs. And they applaud you, and the dwarf comes back up and she shakes your hand. She's like,
Oh, that was very nice. That was very nice. Kids these days.
and then so you go off the stage, and I'm so glad now that I decided not to sing as an NPC because so then this she calls the ogre boy up. He comes up and he looks very nervous, like he has never done anything like this before. He's sweating profusely. He's a chonky boy.
Good for him.
Yeah, he comes up. He's kind of rubbing some sweat out of his eyes, and he looks at the crowd, and the crowd is huge now. Like, it's big. It wasn't quite as big, but the singing and the flame and the fruit ninja stuff, it drew some people in. And he's like, how am I going to do this now? So he takes a second, and he takes a big breath in, and
Okay. I'm going to do my own interpretation of Mike Magic's dance, and I'm gonna do it to Winey Wine's song "Horse."
So please, I hope you all enjoy it.
And you hear another famous bard song come on magically. Wine You Wine is, you all know the song. It's pretty famous. It's called Horse. Obviously, that's a play on Genuine and Pony. And he does start doing the Magic Mike dance that I'm ripping off. And he is... he rolled a nat 20.
Yes.
He is slaying it. Like, he is getting every gyration, every step, every swing. And he's just... The crowd is like, at first they don't know what to say. Some of the mothers like close their kids' eyes at first. And then they start cheering him on, you know. Zero, what do you think about this?
Zero is sitting in the back, his arms still crossed, and he just makes a slight comment. I wonder when the killer cupcakes are gonna get here.
Soon enough, don't you worry. So he finishes up his act, and the crowd goes crazy, and this dwarf lady comes back out, and she is just applauding as well. And he stops for a second, he's huffing, he's breathing hard.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
And then he steps back off, and she announces first place is, I can't remember what name I named him now, the ogre boy.
Started with an F.
Yeah, I didn't write.
Make it up now.
Fritz Friendly.
That sounds about right.
Fritz Friendly,
Yeah.
The young man, he has won the competition, everybody. Second place is Lucien, and third place, Simone the Kind.
And she hands a big bag of gold to this boy, 500 gold. You get another 200 gold. Lucien and Simmond gets 50 gold. You also get a silver medal and a copper medal, second place and third place.
Lucien's gonna walk over to Simmond and offer the gold and the medal in exchange. Very few things touch my heart, and I mean very few things. But I think you deserve second place here, sir, and I'll proudly take third if you'd like to trade.
No, that's fine. You earned it. That's not me. You must just really love Josh Groban. Look him up later.
While this is all happening, Zero, can you give me a perception check with disadvantage?
Yeah.
Because you are still wearing a hat whispering at you, and...
Right. We did forget about the hat.
Give me a minute. Perception. Yeah, I got a 3.
A 3.
The first one was a 19. We were doing good, and then...
It's okay. With a 3, you still... Somebody runs past you, and you kind of get hit, like, sort of from behind as they bump into you. And they are running away from something. But they seem to be in a hurry. But other than that, you can't really pick up. There's a lot of stuff going on with the crowd cheering for the winners. And you don't hear anything in particular.
So he's going to go ahead and turn around and walk in the direction to where the person was running from.
All by yourself?
Yeah, unless the other two are coming with me. They're backstage right now.
Yeah, they would be on stage doing their bows, getting their things. So they could see that you are turning around and starting to head that way if they wanted to follow.
Okay.
What are you guys doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna follow.
Yeah, I'm following Zero. This looks interesting, whatever's going on here.
Yeah, so as you start heading towards where it is, you do start hearing screams, yelling. You can see a display, and it's like a U shape. So a table to the left, a table out front, a table to the right, and there is a table that's in the middle that's much smaller, and it's got like golden trophies on it. And one of these tables is tipped over. There is some people hiding behind it. You see a very large wedding cake looking creature, and it is dangling a young woman by the leg with a giant mouth open. There's people running away. There is exactly. So there's one big strawberry vanilla cake. There is off to the side of it. There is 5. You would only guess that they're chocolate cupcakes. You could guess what kind if you wanted to, or if you got closer, you could figure it out. And then you see there is these like flying. They look like eclairs that have kind of opened themselves up and they're kind of flying around. And there's that signature like coconut cream, vanilla icing that's kind of coming off of them as well. Mm-hmm. And there is just chaos right now over here. There's people screaming, they're running. The crowd at the talent show has now kind of gotten wind of it. And they are going nuts. And it's starting to clear out. And you guys are left with these. What do you want to do?
You know, guys, I don't see any animated buns, interestingly enough. It seems only the pastries got affected.
Well, we should probably really save that woman before she turns into a cupcake herself. I think that'd probably be a very good idea.
Yeah.
So maybe we should start moving towards that direction.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
So she is dangling over a big open mouth. Again, sort of similar to what the cupcake was. Giant tongue that's made of icing. It's red because there was like a strawberry filling in this cake. It's a big cake. Like it could swallow that person whole. It's a big cake.
Okay.
And you see this lady has brown hair. She does have like a flour covered apron. And on her shirt there is like those buns dough sort of emblem for the shop front.
And now it's the intern.
Yeah, I will give you guys a free action to figure out what you want to do again, and then depending on what you decide to do, we'll go into initiative or whatever.
So she's dangling from the cake, right?
Yeah, it's got like I don't know, pseudopod, I guess, holding her by one leg, by the ankle, and she's like hanging over top of his mouth like it's gonna drop in its mouth.
I think the first thing I'm going to do before we alert this thing to our presence, let me use a quick vine whip and grab her away from that thing.
Okay, make a roll on that, please, an attack roll.
Yes, we have established before, if you're okay with it, that I can do this non-damaging if I so choose.
That's fine.
Okay. Let's see, I rolled a 15. 26.
Oh yeah, for sure. AC's like 13 on there. Yeah, so you grab the other leg. Actually, so I'm going to say you grab her wrist so that you're not like splitting her in half.
Yeah, I was shooting for waist.
Yeah, waist. Okay, waist. Yeah, you grab it by the waist. Can you make a strength check for me? Just the pulling action. You got to tug it out of this.
Sure. I assume I'm using magical abilities for this.
No, I mean, you've like whipped out this thorn whip or this vine whip, and now
I'm actually holding on to it.
Yeah, you're gonna like.
Okay,
that's how I was
envisioned. I'm not sure if it's
envisioned.
in the mechanics of this. I do have giant strength, which again I don't know how that actually affects game mechanics. I rolled a 7.
Okay,
I'll use my reaction to bump that to 12.
Okay, and then +2 is 14.
Okay, so you beat it. You rip her from this pseudopod looking icing tentacle thing, and she comes flying towards you because that pulls her right to you, right?
Yes.
You catch her in both arms, her knees in one arm, her back in the other, like you're gonna carry her over a threshold. And she goes, oh, thank you. You must be the fire-breathing kittens. You must have talked to Ilyara?
Yes.
Yep, minor, more pressing issue of there, though.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Sorry, my name is Patio Lanterns. I was here. We were setting up. Ilyara had to stay because all this stuff just disappeared on us.
I think Ilyara mentioned something. I think the old lady that gave you guys some special spice had something a little too special in the spice.
Right. I don't know what that means. I guess. I think that I should probably run now.
Not a bad idea.
Okay. Try not to... These are supposed to be judged, and there's like a lot of money on this, so like don't mess it up too much, I guess.
We'll try our best, Lucien says, winking and crossing his fingers behind his back.
And she will sort of cautiously back away and start to head out. Zero. So Lucien, I'm going to say that you used your move with the bump up. Simmond did his. Zero, okay. What do you want to do?
I'm going to go ahead and prep up Staggering Smite while walking towards the creature. And I have to have concentration up to a minute.
Okay.
And what that does is the next time I hit the creature with a melee weapon attack during the spell's duration, your weapon pierces the body and mind. The attack deals an extra 4d6 psychic damage to the target. The target must make wisdom saving throws. A wisdom saving throw on a failed save. It has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. And it can't take reactions until the end of its next turn.
Okay, so I'm making wisdom saving throws.
Yep.
All right. What's your save DC? It got a nat 1, so it did not save at all. What was that? What was it called again?
Staggering Smite.
And what kind of damage you want to roll for damage there?
Yep, it's going to be 4d6 psychic damage. So let me see. Ooh. Yeah. So first, do I need to roll to see if I hit it or not?
Oh, yeah, sorry. You do need to roll a hit.
Okay, 10 plus, it'll be my spell saving, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 18?
No, sorry, not your spell saving. It would be your proficiency.
Oh, 15.
The d20 plus the... So yeah, you hit.
Okay,
so roll your damage on your weapon, which would be a d8, I believe.
Yep.
And then your 4d6. You can all roll it at once if you...
d8.
And if you guys want to kind of get your rolls together ahead of time.
16 damage.
16 damage, okay. Yeah, I mean, you take a good slice of cake out of this thing, and there's actually surprisingly, like, normally you're used to, slicing into something, and, like, there's a, gross sort of visceral smell behind it. It smells quite pleasant. Like, it's very vanilla-y, very strawberry-y. And you actually get that there might be some sort of, like, rum butter or something in this cake as well. It would probably be a very tasty cake if it was not trying to eat you as well, or about to try and eat you.
As a paladin, I get an extra attack, so can I attack again?
Of course. You just want to hit it with your sword?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me see, a d8, so a 6.
A 6? No, sorry, you have to roll an attack roll still.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
D20 plus your proficiency, it's okay.
8, let's see, that is 13.
13 just hits. So
just hits.
Yeah, go ahead and roll.
D8. Oh, a 1.
A 1? Okay,
yep.
So that's not bad. So 17 total points for that turn. Okay, so now you guys can all roll initiative.
9.
Yikes. 4.
Is initiative with the D20 or D10?
A D20 plus your initiative.
Okay. 11. I got a 10.
A 10, good. Okay, so the way I DM when we're doing like theater of mind is I will roll just one straight initiative roll for like all the monsters on the board, and then they just take their turn all at the same time. Just makes it a little easier, a little faster.
Yeah.
So they rolled a 13, so they end up going first. So what we are going to do, I'm just going to kind of lay this out and how the setup is. You are in the opening of a U, if you can imagine it. The table on the right goes straight up. The table on the end goes across, and then it's almost like if you were doing like a silent auction. You have tables, and all the baked goods were on the tables, except for this giant animated cake, which is sort of in the middle by the trophy case. There are the 5 cupcakes just sort of off behind it. They're like just eating some of the other baked stuff on one of the tables. And then the 3 coconut cream eclairs are just kind of flying around. They haven't really taken notice of you. The only thing that's interested in you right now is this cake. So the cake is going to make an attack roll on the closest thing, which is 0. So does a No, a 5 does not hit your armor class. So he whiffs it. It lashes out with a giant, like, icing tendril, and it just skiffs past your face. You just feel the wind, which smells very nice and pleasant, like vanilla.
Zero's just gonna sidestep, I guess, and take a good whiff about what he's probably gonna eat in the future.
Okay.
Please don't.
Noticing this commotion, the 3 eclairs are going to kind of take notice that there's some stuff going on, and they are going to move up to Zero again, being closer than anybody, and they all are going to take a swoop down at you, and none of them hit you, so you just duck down and dodge them as they swoop down, and they're just circling kind of around you like vultures right now. And the cupcakes are not doing anything. They're not paying attention. They're on a table. They're eating stuff. So you guys don't have to worry about them right now.
Zero, back up.
That would be an opportunity attack if he does.
It's worth it.
Simmond, it's your turn first.
Wait, so you're ending your turn, right?
So, yeah, all the monsters are done.
Oh, all the monsters. Okay,
all the monsters
so
are done.
Is there a way that I can focus a 60-foot radius on the monsters without hitting my teammates?
So I'm going to say Lucien is beside you. Mm-hmm. And in front of you, I will say that if you aim it so that the leftmost cone is on the cake, and then the majority of your cone is just kind of hitting the trophy table and then the back table, you could do it. You're only going to hit the cake because the flying things are kind of above Zero right now.
They're above Zero.
Yeah,
so
they're flying around him, 5 feet above him.
So I can exclusively hit the cake right now.
Yeah.
Drat. Okay. That's a bit of a waste of that spell then. Sorry, that puts a damper in what I was going to do.
It's okay.
Okay. Screw it. I'm just going to do it anyways. I'm going to go ahead and use Sunburst.
Okay.
This creates a 60-foot radius of intense sunlight. Basically, I'm opening a hole in the ozone to try to melt this cake here. And I rolled a 13 plus 11 is 24 to hit.
Oh, yeah, that does it.
Uh-huh. And altogether, the damage on that is 44.
Oof. All right. So as the ozone opens up and this giant blaze of radiant sunlight bursts out of the sky, it comes from the sky, not your hands or anything.
Yes.
Bursts out of the sky. This cake just reels. And it just slowly starts to melt, and it cannot keep up with this. It was fairly hardy, but it couldn't deal with the heat of that, and it is melting and burning and bubbling, and it is down.
Oh.
But the 5 cupcakes have now taken notice and are starting to scramble, or at least will start to scramble across the rightmost table towards you guys. I'm just giving you a heads up on that. There's 5 of them and 3 of the...
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So it is that your turn? You want to move anywhere? You want to do anything else? Bonus action?
How far away am I?
You are, I would say, from the cupcakes, you're only 20 feet from the eclairs. And
no, I'm fine.
You're probably 50 feet, I'd say, from...
Okay. Sounds like it's my turn then?
Yeah. Simmond, you're done, right?
Okay.
Actually, I do have these 4 awakened trees.
Oh, yes.
Let's go ahead and have them each attack one of these eclairs.
Okay.
Let me see here. There are 4 of them. They have a +6 to hit, 10-foot reach.
Okay.
So I will go ahead and roll some attacks here. Sorry, I should have thought of these earlier.
It's okay.
I've got a 13, a 25, a 15, or no, it's a 16, and a 26.
So all of those hit?
All of
There's
those hit.
only 3 eclairs, so you're going to hit one twice. I'll just say
fine.
there's left, right, and center.
Okay.
For ease of it all, you tell me which one you want to hit twice.
And this is 3d6 plus 4. So I'm just going to roll once for each of these, if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
3d6. So it's 15 damage for each hit.
15 damage for each hit.
Uh-huh.
So 45 damage total.
Yep.
All right, so let me just do some quick math. All right, so, I mean, they're hurting. They're kind of flying off now a little bit, but they're still up. They're still in the air.
And then I'll have my trees retreat with as much movement as they have left. I think they use 10, so get 20 feet away at this point.
Okay. And what kind of damages are those attacks?
Bludgeoning.
They're bludgeoning? Okay, perfect then. So we're good. Okay. All right, Lucien, what are you going to do? You have 3 eclairs that are kind of limp flying 5 feet above 0, about 20 feet from you, and then about 50 feet away from you are these cupcakes that are starting to turn your way. 5 of them.
So, is there a dot somewhere within 20 feet of both the eclairs and the cupcakes that 0 isn't in?
They're like directly above him.
Right. Yep. So unless I cinch his hat. All right then.
You're more than welcome to
Lucien's
do.
going to kind of run over. So he's like facing right, like looking right down the table.
Okay.
Staring at all the cupcakes that are they're on the table, right?
Yep.
And he just looks like he's bracing and like saying a bunch of magic words and things as he raises the staff of the Magi way above his head. It is a new toy, and it can do things that he definitely can't do himself, so we're going to cast a 7th level lightning bolt flying straight down the table.
Okay.
Each one of the cupcakes needs to make a DC 21 dex save.
All right. I'm just going to roll 1 for all of them. Dex. Oh, it's impossible to get. It was a nat 20, though. Minus
Depends on how you
3.
roll saves.
So I'm going to say that doesn't save. Like,
Okay.
I mean, it's 20 minus 3, 17. I will, just roll the damage for it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
So yeah, 44 damage to each of them, as well as presumably the table, everything on it, and I don't know how long the table is, but everything 100 feet between me and where the lightning stops is, if it's flammable, is now very much on fire.
Okay, 44 damage. They are singed. They are burnt, but they are still moving. Not
Wow.
well.
I did. Not
I will
expect them to
say
survive that.
that I looked at the wrong stat block for the cake, and that is my fault, but that's how things go sometimes.
No worries. Thought it died a little quick. Let's see. Yeah, nothing I can really do with my bonus action besides Lucien is like trying not to fall over after using that thing.
We're just going to retcon it and say that these are Raisin Bran cupcakes, and those things last forever.
Oh my
god. Yeah, that's Lucien's
That's it, okay.
turn. He's recovering.
These
from
are
that
very hurt. You did a good job.
poor table.
Yeah. All right. It is now Zero's turn, right?
Yeah.
What would you like to do? You have 3 flying eclairs above you that are kind of limp flying, and about 50 feet away, actually about 30 feet away from you, sorry, there are a bunch of burnt up, hurt but still moving cupcakes, 5 of them.
So I'm going to go ahead and use Thunderous Smite, and I will try to attack the eclair in the middle.
Okay, go ahead.
So a 17.
Oh, that definitely hits, yep. Go ahead and roll for damage.
So 8 damage.
All right, so you split that eclair in the middle, and each piece of it just falls to either one of your sides. The 2 eclairs that were with it, it's flockmates, as we'll say, don't look happy with you right now.
Okay, I'll go ahead and try to take out the eclair on the right then.
Okay, go ahead and roll for damage.
19.
Or, sorry, roll for hit. Yeah, that hits. They have a
Okay.
very low AC, to be honest with you.
Damage of 4.
4, that's it, eh? All right. It is. It actually. I'm gonna say that it actually falls out of the sky. It's still moving, but it's very, very hurt. Like 1 hit point left. Hurt.
I just want to clarify. When I use Thunder Smite, I can only use it on one thing at one time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, once per turn.
Got it.
All right. Do you want to do anything else? Do you want to move or anything?
I'll just take a couple steps back just to give them a little bit more room.
Okay. So you're gonna take a couple steps back. That means you're gonna take an attack of opportunity. I wouldn't worry about it. Your AC is super high.
Yeah, we'll see.
I didn't get it unless like a 12 hits your AC, and I know it doesn't. So
No, I have a 16.
yeah. Oh, I thought you had like 21.
No, it's a 16.
Oh shoot.
You
Okay.
rolled a 21 to hit a 16 earlier in the session.
Okay. So you step back. There's one flying, one down on the ground, and still 5 cupcakes coming towards you. It is now the monster's turn. The cupcakes are going to continue to move towards you. They only have 30 feet of movement, so they're going to still be about 20 feet away from Simmond and Lucien. They're on the table still. The flying eclair is going to attack 0 again. It's not going to hit again. Just whiffs it, and the eclair that's on the ground is not just. It's there, and it's looking like a sad animal that's really hurt. Like it's just.
What have you done?
Put expression on a poor eclair. It's like coughing, and like the coconut cream is like coming out of its like where maybe a mouth would be. You guys are animals. Okay. It is Simmond's turn again.
Okay, so first I am going to have my trees attack again. I have 4 of them. All of them, the lowest roll was a 9, so all of them will hit again. Assume 15 damage per each one, going after the eclairs.
Okay, the eclairs are out of commission. Or sorry, roll your damage.
Perfect.
You told me your damage already, right?
About 15 each.
15 each. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So that one, the one on the ground had 1. It's just squashed by one of the like things, just splat. The one in the sky just eviscerated, and again, it's 2 halves of each eclair, and they just fall to the wayside. You just have the cupcakes, which are about 20 feet away.
All right, and then how closely clustered are these cupcakes?
They're all within like a 5-foot like cube of each other.
Gotcha. I'm gonna go ahead and use Call Lightning. Storm clouds are gonna gather overhead, and I can hold this for as long as I want. And anytime, well, I can hold it for 10 minutes. And then every time on my turn, I believe this is a bonus action. Yeah. I can have a lightning bolt come down, dealing 3d10, or half as much if they don't fail their dex saving throw. Lightning damage.
And what's the DC for the save?
17.
These guys have the word. Yeah, it did not. They didn't save. They're fried again.
All right, then 3d10 is going to be 10 damage to each of them.
So they're all just, as soon as that lightning hits the table, just in concession, you just hear 5 splat, 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 splat. You're out of initiative. There is just a mess of battery goodness, and it smells amazing for battle. Like, it is just, you've never had battle that smelled this good before.
Is the table even still there after getting hit by like 4 lightning
the
bolts?
table is all burnt, and there's like some fires. It's like the Ghostbuster scene, like when they get Slimer, and like the tables are on fire, and there's little like lines of like where electricity hit. There's other people's baked goods, and there is now people starting to come up to you. The mayor steps forward, and his 2 bodyguards there are kind of one hand on one shoulder of him. They have their hands on wands. There's the red one in particular. He's got a bit of smoke coming out of its mouth. And the mayor's like, that's horrible. What happened here?
We just had a little bit of a disagreement with some of the food. It just kind of upset our stomach a little bit. Sorry.
Did you guys honestly just destroy the whole bake-off?
We sure did.
The bake-off was sort of destroying the whole party.
And
Show him the dust, Lucien.
Oh, yeah. Lucien just digs up the pouch with the spice from his pocket and pours it out onto his hand and kind of like shifts it so like enough the Eckelblum dust is visible.
You poured it on your hand?
Yeah, I'm
was a
aware of
choice.
what it does.
Okay.
Lucien's already touched it before, so he's already screwed, as is everyone from last episode. Yeah, he just pours it out of his hand. This dust that's everywhere. Someone got. Considering all the food that was here, maybe more than one bakery, but those buns, though, apparently an old lady came by and gave them this spice, but it was laced with Eckelblum dust, which apparently can turn bodily fluids sentient. Terrifying.
I want to say. The mayor just shakes his head, and when will this finally be dealt with? It's been enough. The whole town, I feel like, is going to hell, and it is a voting year. I don't know what to do anymore. This whole thing was a bust. It was supposed to be meant as a fun, entertainment-filled day to get people's minds off of this.
I had a decently good time, for what it's worth.
Just, I need to get out. Get me out of here. Just get me out of here. And they back off. And as he does, Patio Lantern, the apprentice cook at Those Buns, the helper, she shows back up. She's like, you guys don't know how much time that took to make all that stuff. I understand you didn't have much of a choice. I don't think I'm cut out for this job. So, and she just unties her apron and hands it to Zero. And it's like, yeah, have fun. And she, like, there's a glob of, like, icing on Zero's, like, chest plate. And she, puts her finger in it and, like, licks it. And, so good. And then she walks off.
Miss, you'll want to quarantine now.
Yeah, that might be she'll be fine.
Zero immediately gets a face of distrust and just drops the apron. Let's just go get our reward already.
So you guys head out of there. As you start to head out of there, the like Turtle Carney at the apples.
Oh, hey, you want to bob for more apples?
I think we've had enough food for the day.
You guys ought to get washed off.
Zero with icing in his magical cursed hat just gives him a look and continues walking forward.
Yeah, we didn't resolve that hat.
There's still time. All right, so you guys head back to Dough's Buns Dough, covered in icing and cake gore, with the slight stink of burnt bran and vanilla. You walk into the shop, and immediately Ilaris is there and goes, "Oh my, what happened?"
We sort of had a bake-off, I guess.
We got attacked by killer cupcakes. What do you think happened?
Well, there was a giant killer cake, too.
Yeah.
And flying
Anyway,
eclairs.
Everything you baked is gone. So is the baking contest, but...
Everything I baked?
I mean, there might be... You have what's still in the shop. Some of the food wasn't sentient. Everything that didn't have milk.
It's all contaminated with Eckenblem dust, so just heads up, everything you put that new spice in is poison. You might want to just throw anything out that has that.
Everything that had the Eckenblend dust is gone? Or the spice?
Yeah.
I recommend putting it out. I mean, half the town's probably already exposed, but...
There was hundreds of orders, not just the... Oh my.
Think maybe we should make someone more up there in the guild hall aware that it might be a good time to figure this thing out.
I'll
once and for all.
We'll have to let the police, the town guard, know. Anyway, you did your job. I appreciate it very much. Thank you. 80,000 is it's basically gonna now with half my orders gone. But a deal is a deal, right? So here you go. And she walks into the back and she gets like a small chest, and it has 80,000 gold in it. It's a chest of lighter carrying, so you can carry it with you back to the guild hall. Yes, I just made that up. That's what we can do. So each of you can split up you guys decide how you want to do this 80,000 gold.
Just do it equally.
It's completely up to you.
Equally.
Essentially, the adventure is over. However, I will say there is likely killer cupcakes from those buns dough still out and about, because not all the ones that were at the bake-off were at the bake-off. There was the ones that escaped from the bakery. Not that I alluded to that at all.
Does sound like a lot escaped, actually.
Probably. So who knows? Maybe somebody will throw those into another adventure. We'll see what happens with that. Season 5, I think, is coming out soon next year, right? So is it 5 or 4, Simmond?
It'll be 5, although we typically don't carry things over from the previous season.
No.
So if it's not wrapped up by the end of this one,
That's all right.
They could still come back.
Zero has a cursed hat of the TM hat, and he's being just driven. I hope you can sleep at night.
probably can.
I cannot sleep at night with this frickin' thing on me.
Yeah, your ability to perceive and investigate is just going to get worse and worse.
It was already bad to begin with. Here we go downhill.
You pilfered some very magical items from the Guildhall Armory. However, it doesn't look like anybody's been in there for quite a while. The key is probably lost a long time ago, so we don't know if anybody's going to notice.
I also perma-locked it.
Those items are yours. For whatever needs attunement, you can attune to them. The Storm Girdle, just remember, is awakened for you, Zero.
Okay.
So it gives you just more benefits. Depending on what your character wants to do. He still may feel bad and want to give it back. That's completely up to you. Simmond, your dragon scale armor, red variety. I think that gives you resistance to fire and whatnot.
that's why I picked it. It's the most common magical damage type.
Yeah. And your
All-purpose tool.
all-purpose tool +3, which is nice for the artificers. Yeah. So I hope you guys had fun. I will call it at that. You guys return to the guild hall. Zero does not sleep, and a hat is still stuck on him. You shine up your armor. You get cleaned up. You're pretty sticky, which apparently isn't something that nobody's not used to. The day goes on. The news comes out about the Busker Fest being a complete bust, which is exactly what they call the title spread. Busker Fest bust? I don't know. Yeah. The end. Thank you very much. Simmond, do you want to say goodbye?
All right. Bye.
Zero?
It was nice to meet everybody. I'll see you later.
And Lucien.
Only the second most eventful food fight I've ever had.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Art in Heart, the podcast about very interesting people, interesting events, in the shape of the documentary, and also miscellaneous stuff. Always with amazing new and old music on sylviadossantos.net/podcasts, the top 3% of most popular podcaster and podcasts in the world. Thank you for listening.
Stocks for beginners.
Our management score turned up for Twitter right before Elon Musk made the buyout offer.
A clear pathway to profitability and cash flow positivity.
If you have a strategy,
you want to stick to it.
Whether we like it or not, we're all investors in the stock market, either directly or through our retirement plans. We're handing over management of our assets to financial advisors and mutual funds.
Well, where's all the customers' yachts?
Where do you go if you're completely new but want to start learning?
Many confusing metrics, aren't there?
Many confusing, man, so crazy.
You'll hear from people in the finance industry, and together we'll explain the key concepts of investing while they share their financial knowledge.
We have to be smart, we have to be diversified, and we have to have good risk management strategies if we want to invest for the long term, and that's what we're all about.
Join me if you want to learn more about investing, the stock market, and finance. Stocks for Beginners podcast. Let's learn together.